Alright gamers, I think it's about that time to get things started. Welcome on in, everybody. How we doing today? We got a special stream. Very excited. I see a couple new faces in the chat. Welcome on in. We got Lorenzo. We got YMac. How you guys doing? Unwanted is here. That's hanging out. I know Deleaf is hanging around as well. Welcome on in. Darkrai Knight is doing great. You love to see that. Hope you guys are doing well. Guys, oh my gosh, that was so loud. Okay, so we've done this before with in reverse videos, but this is officially my first fixing stream. So yeah, I see YMac is only stopping by, so thank you for stopping by, much appreciated. And so here's the plan. We're gonna be doing this live, figuring it out as we go. I've done a very small amount of pre-work, so what I'm gonna do is kind of take you through my process, and we'll go through all 8 gym leaders for Paldea. I've got a little bit of an idea of like how I want to do this, what's the framework and all of that, so we'll get through that when we get there. Snoozing Snorlax says, hello, love your videos, very much appreciated. Means a lot. Make sure they're level scaled. That's a great point, Lime. We'll get there, okay? That's gonna be a very interesting point, and like I said, we'll get there. What's up, Zach? Thank you for the chat. Pokemon marketed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's gym leaders to take on in any order. This is true, and it's very frustrating that they are not able to do that. So, no Team Star bosses then? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, because technically, they're like... Is it too loud? How are we doing on volume here? I think that's a good volume. The problem is like, do we want to just tackle the Victory Road plot? I don't know. I guess you could say technically they are gym leaders, Darkrai. Maybe that can be like a separate video. And I don't really know exactly how I'll make like a Scarlet OK version. That's something that I'm not even thinking of right now. I just think it'd be really fun to make a video covering these guys. And you know, maybe we'll get to a point where I could make something along the lines of a Scarlet and SVOK. I guess it would just be VOK or SOK. So we'll see. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Belief says, I did see the video of your ranking of 3rd gym leaders. And you have a small complaint on the Paldean gym leaders not using any new Pokemon. Yes. So, I guess let's get to the meat and potatoes here. This is a classic line used by a particular YouTuber. Paldea, their gym leaders are very interesting. And you'll notice, we're going to take a look at Katie's team here real quick. You'll notice that they use some Pokemon of their generation, right? But the problem is their ace is a Pokemon that is not of their original type, or like their specialized type. And it kind of leads to this weird duality of aces in the later gyms. You'll see like with, you know, Rhyme, for example. It kind of works in Rhyme's favor because she's a double battle gym leader. You've got the out-of-type ace, I guess, and then the in-type ace being Houndstone in a way. And the reason, of course, that they do that is because of their Terra type. And the way that Game Freak decided to go about it is all of these gym leaders would have a Pokemon that Terra types into their specialized type. And I've had some people comment about this. I think the way I want to go about this is not guaranteed for the video per se, but I think the way I want to go about this is to do the opposite. So the ace, hypothetically speaking, should be a Paldean Pokemon that is of their actual specialized type. And then they terrestrialize into a type that's like defensively good into all of the offensively good types of their specialized type. So for example, you could have a bug type that is of Generation 9, maybe it's the evolution of Nimble or Tarantula, and they terrestrialize into like the rock typing, for example. So that's kind of the approach that I want to take here. I want to see if it works. We're going to just play it out in terms of like the game design of these teams. And we'll figure out if there's any holes in that philosophy as we go, I think. Ice Level says, the Terra Ace concept is so cool in theory, but it ends up giving the team less diversity instead of more. Yeah, totally agree. Because they are always coded to terrestrialize as soon as the new Pokemon hop onto the field, you know? Darkrai says, feels a bit against the spirit of what Game Freak was trying to do, but I guess in general it would make the game more challenging. Yeah, see, there are a couple of things that we have to say goodbye to because of this philosophy. Iono would have to say goodbye to her Mismagius, her classic Levitate Mismagius, unfortunately. But I want to just see how far we can go with this, and if we run into any problems, well, that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and we'll go with the same plan that Game Freak did to begin with. So that's the idea. We're going to try our best. Melody says, I like some of the ones that Terra into the type, Mismagius and Toxtricity particularly, but I agree that the Terra out of type would be better. I think that's kind of the same general idea that people, I guess most people agree with. Is like there are some cool elements of this approach, but I think that overall the whole concept might be more sound, I guess, if you go in the opposite direction. So I've always assumed that the Pokemon sent out prior to the Ace is the Paldea Ace. For the most part, Saint, that does technically work, but also, like, is Katie's Ace Tarantula here? Like, that seems a little underwhelming, you know? I don't know if it fits the design philosophy, says Blue Bud Double. In lore, it's hard to train many different Pokemon. That's why our player is so special. Katie can only handle a Teddiursa because it's a bug type and similar. Is that right? Like in lore? Teddiursa's getting shot out the back. Fair point, David. Each gym leader will have 8 teams depending on badge level. Okay, so second point. Lime brings up a second point. Outside of this whole Terra fiasco, there's this idea that Game Freak marketed this game to be... Oh, here we go. We got THX. Hold up. Pause. Music to my ears. Every single time. I did change the pricing of some of the OKoin stuff, by the way. So, and there is one more new redeem and redeem yippee. I think it works. I haven't tested it, so it might just crash the stream, but that's for you guys to figure out. But yeah, you'll see that I've already put Terra Rock down here. We're gonna talk about each one as we go. These are not set in stone, they're just suggestions that I already wrote down. Oh god. That's so big. Okay, it technically works, but the alert display is totally wrong. I think it's just a popular headcanon to explain NPC team building. Yeah, so... Right, the whole thing about Scarlet and Violet being marketed as an open world game. I do want to make 8 different teams for all these gym leaders, but I think what I want to do is split them into 2 different videos, because I've created this format where I did it with Kanto. Didn't do entirely too well, but I feel like doing it with Paldea could be a little bit more interesting. So I think the idea that I'm going to stick with for now is I'm going to make a fixing Paldean gym leaders video, and then I'll make a separate video for what if the Paldean gym leaders could be fought in any order. So it'll kind of be a sequel to this video in spirit, because the base teams from the fixing video will be what we use to build the rest of the teams for each gym, if that makes sense. So that's kind of the plan for today. That's what we're going to do. If only the Paldean gym leaders didn't have linear level scaling in order, like with previous gym leaders. Yes, true. I remember the marketing. Excuse me. I remember the marketing that you can take the gym leaders in any order. Yeah, it might be misremembering. I'm not sure, but I feel like I remember them saying specifically. They called it an open world experience, which it is technically an open world experience. And you can take these gym leaders down in any order. That is factual information about this game. Don't get me wrong. The problem is that the levels don't scale whatsoever. So that's kind of what the problem really is, what it comes down to. But as you can see, we have our little top screen here. We're going to use this for research. Bottom screen, we're going to fill in our information for these teams. We're going to start right now with Katie. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to take a look at the BST of each Pokemon that she uses in the base game, and maybe use that as a starting point for what we want to swap these teams out in. The other thing is, what is the other thing? We've got kind of this Pokédex database from the Pokemon database website. We're going to use this to look and reference the BSTs of all these Pokemon. We're also going to use the list of the Paldean Pokédex here to make sure that we are actually using Pokemon that are obtainable in this game. That's about. Oh, oops, I was muted the whole time. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that. I have no idea how that happened. Possibly the boom did it? I'm going to pause that for now just to make sure that doesn't happen again. That's hilarious. Just gonna disable that. We should be good to go. Okay. Alright, anyways, back to the regularly scheduled content. So, Katie. She terrestrializes her Teddiursa into the bug type. I think it's very cool how most of these gym leaders have a secondary job in a way. They do this sometimes in Generations. The stream got shot out the back just like Teddiursa. So true. So true. The music was so loud, it broke the sound barrier. That's right, Dat. That's right. Oh yeah, we got Metal Pipe here for sure. We need a technical difficulty screen. That's a great point, Lime. They've done it pretty consistently since Gen 5. Yeah. So for Katie, obviously she's a big baker. And so what I want to do is to try, at least try, to stay pretty consistent with any theming that they've set up here. So it might be a little bit more difficult later on, but for now, it should be relatively easy. So Katie is a baker. She runs a bakery named the Soapberry. So mainly her thing is bread. Now the problem is bugs don't really have much, I guess, to coincide with baking, but there are a couple of options that I've already taken a look at. So I feel like Spidops in particular, she already uses the Tarantula. I think Spidops, it evolves at level 15. I think this would be a great ace Pokemon for Katie in the early game that can also transition to being a, like, is it Spiderweb? Or Sticky Web setter in, like, the later gyms. You know what I mean? Baking is kind of part of fairy stereotyping. In a way. It'll be more difficult to stay on theme when you're not following Game Freak's Terra Ace format. Yeah, this is true. Yeah, Sticky Web. So, if we're sticking with this approach, I think that Spidops could be a good place to start. We've got this as the ace. The stat distribution here, where are we? Here we are. It's 404, and so if you take a look at Teddy Ursa, it is a slight bit higher, but not by much. It's 330, which is about the same BST as a starter Pokemon, whereas Spidops is just a bit higher. And I feel like right around 400 is kind of your sweet spot for a first gym ace. If you look back at like Rock and Roxanne, you've got Onyx, which is I think 385, and Nosepass is right around there as well. I like that position here, and then you can build a team surrounding it in a way. Now, one thing we do need to figure out is what terrestrialized or what Terra type we want Spidops to go to. My first instinct was Rock, and that we could also give this guy the TM for Rock Tomb. Now, one thing I'm trying to figure out is if I want to just slap Terra Blast on all of these teams. I think, especially in the early game, I want to avoid that. And if we can give it a move that is also the move that it terrestrializes in the early game especially, I think that could be really cool. Spidops has the same attack, mainly more bulk. Exactly, yeah. So, like, and this would actually make Spidops more interesting, because it really is a little bit, it's weak in the late game, you know what I mean? Deleef says, I would make it normal. Why do you say that, Deleef? Make Spidops Dragon type, okay. Bruh. Yeah, I think Vespiquen would be too much, but speaking of Vespiquen, I think we could take a look at this dex. Let's look at other bug-type Pokemon. We've got Tarantula, we got Nimble, Kricketot, Scatterbug, The Works, Vivian, Combee. Now, Combee is associated with honey, and you could kind of make a correlation with honey to baking. In a way, it's kind of two things surrounded in the cooking environment. Katie is surrounded by Vivillon before the gym battle. Maybe give her one of those. That's an interesting idea, Darkrai. I definitely don't want it to be the ace, because that kind of goes... we want the ace to still be a Gen 9 Pokemon, and Vivion's already kind of the ace of Viola in Gen 6, you know what I mean? Leading with a Combee is so good for Katie. So here's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and write down, for now, Spidops as the ace, and then Combee here. I'm trying to think of other potential baking-themed bugs. I don't really think there are any. Surskit would be pretty cool in my opinion, because I love this Pokemon, and also just water coverage could be great in the early game. So Surskit to me feels like an interesting option. I'll write it down for now. If it wasn't locked to Kitakami, I would suggest Ribombee. True Ice, yeah. You should probably just use Nimble, since it's another Paldean bug. I'll also write that down. I agree that, like, prioritizing Gen 9 Pokemon is something I want to do, but I feel like outside of the ace, it doesn't matter as much. Viola already had a Surskit. I'm not too interested in, like, making sure that all gym leaders don't use the same Pokemon outside of their ace, but I do see what you mean. The log says a Combee Nimble Spidops party would be good if we're going by her in-universe claim that she's urged to just go easy on trainers. Okay. Let's look at the other options. We've got Kricketot, which I wouldn't say necessarily vibes with Katie's theming, in my opinion. Same kind of with Vivian, I'm not sure. What's after Surskit? The problem is I also don't necessarily want to use a Pokemon on Katie's team that can only be found in, like, the top half of the region. We could do that. It's not necessarily a rule that I want to, like, completely avoid, but I do want to keep it in mind. You know what I mean? To be honest, I think if this is meant to be a hard mode of sorts, gym leaders should be allowed to dip into the Kitakami and blueberry pools. See, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Darkrai, but I also feel like, how would that work when the game came out? You know what I mean? Tam, what's up? Welcome on in. Larvesta. Is Larvesta here? What else we got? We got Raylor. Probably not a huge get to me. We have Venonat, Pineco, Scyther, Heracross. Great options, but like a little too much this early. Okay, so Larvesta is here. I do want to write that down too, because Larvesta could be interesting. Although, what's the BST of this guy? I feel like it's a little bit higher, because we did use it as the ace in Black 2 Reverse, or Black Reverse. Why is this showing up? I don't... Please collapse. Okay. 360. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Can't stay for long, just saying hi. Awesome. Thank you for stopping by. I'm very, very excited to see what's coming up on your channel, by the way. Everybody in chat, if you don't know, Tam Valley is about to announce something very cool on his channel. So, you know, maybe check it out. Maybe check out his latest community post, if you are so inclined. Larvesta could be an oven, I agree. Sakura says, question, wasn't the whole theme of Paldean gym leaders that they had a Pokemon that wasn't their gym type that could Terra into their type? Or are we forgoing that? Yes, so that is what they did in the base game. I'm considering going the opposite way. I'm considering going, like I said, sticking with the type, but Terra typing out of their original type that's like defensively really strong into all of the traditional weaknesses. So we're gonna try to see if this approach goes all the way through to Gym 8. There might be a couple places where it just doesn't align, and we might need to just reset and like go with the original approach. But I want to play this out a little bit, if that makes sense. Putting Raylor for Katie is like giving a baker poop. That's crazy. Thanks for the shout out. Of course, of course. I have a big project announcement on Friday that may be of interest to the wider Pokemon/Fakemon community. This is true, yeah. Aligns with the hard mode. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's a health code violation waiting to happen. This is true. Okay, so Larvesta is definitely an interesting option, especially, maybe it can use like the move Incinerate, and that kind of alludes to like an oven in a way. We also have to try not to share any Terra types with other gym leaders. That's going to be difficult. That's going to be really difficult. We can try. We can try. Wouldn't it be easier to make a video about fixing Team Star captains? I mean, yes, it would be easier for sure, because there'd be less people to cover, but I think we could do that as a separate video. We bacon poop. Alright, so Spidops, Surskit, Larvesta, Combee, and Nimble. Is there anything else here? We got Snom. Snom could be interesting. I really don't see that working. I guess we could do like a Snom into Larvesta angle, because then you could like say, oh yeah, she freezes some of her ingredients, and then she cooks some of her ingredients. But I don't know, that feels like a little too much to me. Oops, I'm going up. Yeah, let's throw Slitherwing here. This sounds great to me. Slitherwing ace for Katie, anybody? Hello? Yeah, Snom keeps the ingredients cold. Have we considered that Raylor is providing chocolate for the croissants? So true. I didn't even think about that. Let's look at the Pokédex entries here. Is there anything interesting? Okay, mixing sand and dirt with psychic energy. Yeah, I don't know about that. I will never get over that this is a real Pokemon, chat. This every time I see Raylor's face, I'm like, this can't be real. Look at this guy. What are we doing, Game Freak? Oh man. Okay. So I feel pretty good about this. Let's go and take a look at Spidops. What is the ability here? Is it Swarm? It's Insomnia. Cool with that. Insomnia. Another thing we want to talk about probably is hidden abilities. I would say maybe I want to avoid hidden abilities until like... When can I, as the player, get access to hidden abilities in Scarlet and Violet? Can you get hidden abilities in Scarlet and Violet? I know you can, I just want to know when. You know what I mean? Okay, AI over you, I don't want that. Terra raid battles, ability patches. So it does seem relatively easy to do. Ability patches are pretty late. It's still before League? Okay. So maybe what I'll do is, like, let's not do hidden abilities until, like, Gym 7? Something like that? I don't know. And even then, just, like, make sure there's a reason for it. I don't know. I'll write that down. I got a scratch notes section here. Avoid hidden abilities until around Gym 7-ish. You know, 6 or 7, something like that, you know. Major L. I still feel like Katie, Atticus, or Ortega should have switched type specialties with Katie so that she could be a fairy type. They literally made a bred Dashhound and didn't give it to the Baker gym leader. This is true. This is true. It is a little weird. It is a little strange. I agree with that. It is odd. Especially because I'm pretty sure that Pokemon is not used on the fairy type guy, which is Ortega, right? Yeah. How about we make having hidden abilities available after Gym 4 or 5? Something like that. Kind of in the late. What would Spidops level cap be? I feel like we should keep them the same, right? Or like, same-ish? I think it's fun for at least this team because Spidops evolves at level 15. You know what I mean? And I feel like keeping it a little bit lower also makes sure that, like, if people are sticking to a level cap, you're not going to evolve your starter yet. You know what I mean? Same levels are probably fine before we get into variants. Okay. Alright, so, Katie, you've got your Spidops, you got your Insomnia. What kind of moveset are we looking at here? I'm thinking Bug Bite is probably going to be main move, except Pounce is the TM of choice here. Let's keep that in mind. And Pounce does what? Lower attack? Lower speed. I really like that. We're going to avoid Bug Bite here in favor of Pounce as the TM of choice. We are losing 10 base power there, but I want to stay relatively consistent and have the TM when needed. Let's see. Oh crap, it is raining, so hopefully my computer or network doesn't crash out today like it did last week. Don the PlayStation. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. People are saying Pounce, get Rock Tomb in there. Yeah, I do think Rock Tomb would be great. Like I was saying earlier in stream, that could go great with the Terra Rock. Also, even more speed control. This is going to be speed control the Pokemon, man. Okay, Silk Trap. What does this move do again? Protects the user from all effects of physical and special moves that target it. During the turn it is used. Okay, so it's protect. And it lowers speed if hit. Okay. Literally speed control the Pokemon. I love this thing. Based Pokemon right here. Yeah, we got the Terraria music. What else we got? People are saying... Faint or Assurance? I think Assurance works, gives it some more coverage. Struggle Bug could be interesting because that lowers special attack, but I feel like we could leave Struggle Bugs for the first 2 Pokemon at least. Faint is kind of interesting, kind of goes well in parity with Silk Trap, but like that's only for lip service only. I'm going to write down Assurance here first. And again, like I've said in the description of this stream, none of what we say here is guaranteed to like be in the final video. I will probably make some changes. Also, why is the chat in like Times New Roman? What's going on there? I'm just now noticing this. You will not go first and learn to not just click the super effective move. Yeah, exactly. That wasn't an intentional choice? No. The font is broken right now. I don't know what the problem is. We're gonna go with it for now. Nothing wrong with a little bit of Times New Roman. Sometimes I just want to bring it back to the simpler times, you know? You know what I mean? Just saw the Odyssey. I'm feeling a little... Roman, you know, potential history side of me come out a little bit. It's a classy font, exactly. Put it in Comic Sans. I'll have to do that for next time, David. We are still on Katie Lauren. We're gonna be taking our sweet time here. Okay, so the other 2 Pokemon, I kind of think that Combee is a must, just because it's got some pretty decent theme synergy. That doesn't mean we can't use Nimble, but I'm slowly being convinced of using Larvesta here just because of like kind of baking in a way. Yeah, we're gonna rush the last 4 because, you know, we'll get through the first 4 in like a 2-hour time period. What does Combee's moveset look like? From what I understand, it's pretty bad. Why is this, like, sticky? I want to get rid of this, and I can't. I'm clicking it. You have to, like, go to the top. Please close, bro! Why are you here? Nobody invited you. I can't get rid of it. Okay, if I do this, and here, it goes away. Okay. Generation 9 moveset, we got Sweet Scent, Gust, Struggle Bug, and Bug Bite. Importantly, Combee does not learn Pounce, the TM of choice, which is a little interesting. What is our ability here? It is Honey Gatherer. Bulbapedia is broken. It always is. Or Honey Gather, rather. Type coverage too? Yeah, exactly. Lauren's freaking out about Larvesta. Can we have a 20-minute time limit per gym leader? Nah. I'm good. I like a more natural progression of conversation, you know? Larvesta and Combee would be a huge help with her bakery business. This is true. You know? Like, swipe some honey on top of the bread and throw it into the oven that's powered by the Larvesta? I don't know. I do think Larvesta could work theming-wise, because, like, chocolate lava cake? Oh, dude, that sounds fire. I think you could just stay with Combee's level up learn set. Yeah, unless we want to, like, swap out Sweet Scent. That's a fair point. My goodness, bro. Okay. Dude, please get off the screen! Bulbapedia! Alright, so let's pencil this in. We got Sweet Scent, we got Gust, We got Struggle Bug. And we also have Bug Bite. Now, let's look at the TMs real quick. It's Struggle Bug, Sleep Talk, Bug Buzz, Terra Blast, Bug Bite, Lunge, Endeavor, and Skitter Smack. The only thing I could really think to bring here is like Endeavor. There's no other moves outside of that. Like Lunge and Skitter Smack I think are a bit too much for me. Yeah, and like Sweet Scent doesn't really do anything for us, right? Larvesta does not have a higher BST than Spidops. Spidops is 404, and Larvesta is 360. We just looked this up. Oh, here we go. We got another THX coming in. Yeah, I'm okay with it too, because Sweet Scent also somewhat kind of works as theming with the baking. Sweet Scent, you know? Feels like when you're a cartoon character and you get a whiff of a pie being baked in the background and you just start like hovering in air and just like, you know? Is Combi living in attack to make use of Endeavor? That's a great point, Oliver. That's a fair point. Alright, so let's move on. We're going to... Let's check Larvesta, and then maybe check Nimble as well. There's an X here! Why can't I just click it, bro? Could Sweet Scent set up for an inaccurate move that Surskit or Larvesta uses? That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Dude, this is insanely annoying. Can I, like, expand the screen? Okay. Yeah, so 360 BST that we're working on here. We don't want to make this too overpowered. Attack is going to be higher, so we could make this just straight up a physical, or a special attacker, rather. This is so annoying. And what's the ability here? We got Flame Body. That is actually insane. For a bug-type gym leader, that's low-key insane. I'll consider building out a Nimble set, just because I feel like this is kind of a lot. Let me see. So, we have Ember, String Shot, Flame Charge, Struggle Bug. So I'm feeling like it's an Ember... Maybe... Yeah, String Shot, get more speed control in there, you know? Struggle Bug. And then... Dude, this is insanely annoying. I feel like I have to use a different website now. Maybe this has the latest movesets? Or Vesta. Maybe Sunny Day to synergize with Terra Rock Spidops? That's interesting. I don't know if I want to do weather on the first gym, but I like the idea. Yeah, so Gen 9 movesets, here we are. TM moves, the only issue is we don't get to see the breeding moves, but I don't want to deal with that for Gym 1 anyways. Body Slam is a TM here? This is crazy. Oh yeah, I guess we could do like a Fire Spin angle. Now, let me just also do a little Nimble gaming. Because maybe Larvesta is too much. Maybe it is. Let's go to Nimble. My god. What's our ability? We got Swarm. Feels definitely more in line with a Gym 1 team. Can't lie. Our base stat total is 210 though. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm glad people agree with the weather being too early. Are you using the Blissey website? What's up, Gakubo, by the way? welcome on in. I have not been using the Blissey website. I'd love to check that out though, if it's a useful database. I've been looking for one that's like super useful, you know? Like I want one where I can filter by BST and also a bunch of other things at the same time. Flame Charge would fit the theme of speed control. This is true, but it would be a lot more damage off of Larvesta's special or physical attack stat. So that might be too much. Anyway, so Nimble gets Struggle Bug. Strugel Boojel. It's also got some interesting coverage with Double Kick. And might as well go the Assurance angle either way here. And we could go Screech. That's kinda interesting, I guess. Can Larvesta learn Incinerate? I don't think so. Or was Incinerate removed as like a move in Gen 9 or something? That sounds familiar to me. Let me double check this. Oh dude, this is gonna end my entire... Okay, yeah, there's nothing really here breeding wise. So, okay. So I don't know. Do we want to vote on it perhaps? Incinerate is in Scarlet and Violet, but it doesn't learn it. That seems crazy to me. Struggle Bug over Pounce on Nimble. I guess does Nimble learn Pounce? Larvesta could learn it from a TM in Gens 5 and 8. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, so it does get Pounce. And it does have a much higher attack stat, so I'm definitely going Pounce on that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's vote on it real quick. What do we like more, chat? Katie's second team member. Nimble or Larvesta? I think it could be balanced out if we are sticking with using Larvesta's special attack. Did I just hear Kung Fu Panda music? No, but I could totally play some, David. I think. Are the redemptions not working? I think if we do Team Star reworks later, Giacomo could use one since he only rocks one Mon in his Starmobile. That's fair. That's a good point. That's Minecraft music? Yeah, this is Minecraft music. Ever since I did THX, mine haven't been working. That's bizarre. Why are you giving me issues, streamer bot? Yeah, I'm connected. Okay, the Leaf has proven to us that it does work. This is good. Alright, so Larvesta is winning right now. We have 18 votes. I'm going to pencil in Larvesta for now. And we're going to go ahead and just write down Alt for Katie over Larvesta. Throw Nimble down and we'll call it a day. Larvesta having a 4x weakness should make it more beatable. That's a fair point as well, Connor. cool. So I do think that Terra Rock here works the best. I'm open to other ideas, but it should be like take out all the weaknesses that Bug has, mainly fire and flying. And the fact that Spidops gets Rock Tomb via TM kind of like cements it for me. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. That's right, Unwanted. All right, we're gonna end the poll. There you go. It has manageable weaknesses, but still punishes you for just rushing it with your starter and nothing else. True, yeah. I know we're going for Rock-type Spidops, but Katie can naturally have rain during her gym battle. Is Surskit already on the roster? That's a really good point. Kravevi? Thank you for the chat. We did consider Surskit already, so let me just write down Surskit because it can actually rain in this battle. That's an interesting point. But for now, I say we move on to Brassius. With Combi and Larvesta, they're both 4x weak to rock, so a Terra to counter rock types could be better? Ooh. That's an interesting thought. If both Combi and Larvesta are 4x weak to rock, should Terra be strong to rock? Another interesting point. I'm going to keep thinking about that. 80 notes. There we go. Okay. Brassius time, everybody. Unwanted has a question about higher EVs and IVs. So currently, I have no idea what the EVs and IVs of these trainers are. Generally speaking, I like them kind of increasing with the player, at least. For IVs, I think they should all be at least 15, but for EVs, I don't think they should have EVs, right? Or should they? Everyone agrees he should have a Bramblin or Bramble Ghast, right? Yes, so Darkrai, I wanted to bring this up. This is a great point. Can we just take a look at Brassius' character for a second? Let's just take a look at him, right? Still wondering why Rock Terra for Katie? Why? It's meant to cover the weaknesses of bug types. How many have we got done already? Just Katie. We're moving on to Brassius right now. If there is a better type, I'd love to hear it. Truly Wudo was peak. Another thing that I hate that we have to miss out on by doing it in this approach, but that is a good point. Sudowoodo actually being a grass type was a lot of fun, Swampy. Brassius should have Capsicid. I like the EVs and IVs of the Sinnoh Elite Four and Champion. Maybe I'll consider EVs for the Elite Four. But like, guys, bro has like a vine with like thorns on it. And you're telling me this guy does not use a Brambleghast on his squad? Like, are you kidding? This is crazy. Does he later? No. Still no. Even later he doesn't. Like, what is this? What are we doing? So, at least for me, I think Brambleghast works as a fantastic ace here, because Brambleghast evolves via like the adventure go mechanic or whatever, right? So we go to Bramblin. Let's go to evolution data. I can't close that, dude. It's so annoying. Level up whilst outside of its Pokeball. So technically this can be done at any level, so nobody's gonna really complain about it being evolved this early. At least I hope not. Swap Smoliv for Capsicid? It's an interesting idea. Not even any Gen 9 reps, kind of strange. It does, though. He has Smoliv. Smoliv is Gen 9. Is Roselia in this gym? Roselia... is that someone that can be found here? No, so Roselia is not in the Paldean Pokedex. Oh, here we go. Great working music. All good, Don. No Badoo line. I know, right? But that's okay. Anyway, so Bramblegast, right? Oh god, how do you still show up? I just don't get it. This has to be like a new addition to this website that happened yesterday, because I am consistently on Bulbapedia, guys. Okay. I'm gonna have to use this website, I guess. Bramblegast at level 17. I think I would like to still stick with the main game's level cap for now. Let's take a look at the BST of Sudowoodo real quick. Guess I'll use this website for it too. Sudowoodo has a BST of 410, so it's around the BST that we gave Katie. I'm okay with it going a little bit over that. I stumbled upon it today too. Oh, that's... so is it just broken, Gakubo? I wonder if it's just broken for me because it isn't actually closing. Anyways, so 410 BST, Bramblegast is at 480, so it is a little bit higher. It's fairly higher, so that's something we'll have to keep in mind. For a comparison, let me look at Crocalore's BST. So Crocolore is sitting at 411, because you do get the Evos at this point. Yeah, it's a buggy update that got pushed recently. Great timing, Bulbapedia. Love that. There's also Toadschool. Yes, there are a lot of options for this guy. So, Grass-type Pokemon. Let's write down some possible options. We have Bramblegast as a possible lead. I don't, or at least I would like to avoid the starters for now. Hoppip is an interesting idea. Let me write down Skiploom as an option, because I think you can get Skiploom by level 6. Is it 16 or 18? It's 18. Okay, so it would still be Hoppip. What about Sunflora? We'll get there, we'll get there. Sunkern and Sunflora. So Sunflora is sitting at a BST of, where are we? 425. So that's a potential consideration for a different ace option if we think that Bramblegast is too much. And what's interesting about Sunflora is because it's the mascot of the city that he's in. You know what I mean? Here we go. What about Delmise? Well, first off, Delmise is a Alolan Pokemon, so it wouldn't work as an ace. That's 517, so that's going to be too much for me. So Sunflora is interesting. It's kind of in this middle ground. I wonder if we could play around with some chlorophyll angles here with, like, Sun. It might be too early for that, too. But that is evolving by Sunstone, so that could work. And it is the mascot of the town that he's in Artisan Town. So I don't hate that as an option. Oh, is Delmise not even in the game? That's also another reason why it wouldn't work. Yeah. Bounsweet would be interesting, like a Steenie angle, mayhaps. How are we feeling on the level of evolution here? 18, so it'd still have to be Bounsweet. I don't know if I love that for this guy, because, like, what's so weird to me, and maybe this is on purpose, but Brassius's squad is pretty, like, I don't know how to describe it, but, like, Brassius seems like a dark and brooding individual, and I know he's like a starving artist type, so like maybe that's why some of his Pokemon are more like beauty forward. I don't know. I don't see Bounsweet fitting his team. It's funny because he has the line in this game and the rematch team. Wilting Flower Brassius. Yeah, exactly. The Verdant Virtuoso. So I'll write it down for now. It's not really doing a lot for me. Smoliv. This is interesting. What's the evolution level? Level 25, bro. And this is what we're working with BST? Like, honestly, Dolliv could be the move. Because I do think that this line is interesting for this Pokemon. Momo says, hey, what app are you using to organize the teams? Yeah, it's just Google Sheets. Very, very simple. Sorry, I was totally not paying attention to chat. Thank you for the question, though, in the chat. Terra Fire Sunflora focusing on Sun would be really cool. Just might be too much for Gym 2, yeah. So that's another interesting point that we should take into consideration is what if the gym leaders changed the Terra type that they wanted to Terra type into, or Terrastallize into, depending on the position. Depending on the order that you fight them in. That's an interesting idea. Check Dolliv's stats, 260 versus 354. Yeah, so to me, this feels like a Ralts into Kirlia situation, where like the real stats come online with Arboliva, and Kirlia / Dolliv is more of a holdover, where you don't really get that crazy of a boost. It's like, what, by 100 stats? Like, that's almost nothing. So I feel like I'm willing to go for an early evolution Dolliv, but let me know what you guys think. What else we got here? There is the Petalil angle, which is something that he uses already. Still something I don't really agree with fits him. I'll write it down just in case. I think there's a better choice out there. Let's keep going. We got Shroomish / Breloom. Another interesting idea, but I don't... Like, maybe this one's a little bit more brooding of a Pokemon. Maybe it fits a little bit better here. I say let's have Brassius use a Dolliv. True, Red Magnezone. True. Late Kirlia evolution at home type of family line. So true, Deleaf. Did they do underleveled evolutions on this generation? I'm not sure. We can take a look at the later gyms, or like middle gyms, to see. Because they do that. They do that in other gyms, or other gens rather. But yeah, Shroomish, I guess, could work. He does use it already on his rematch squad. There is Applin. I feel like Applin could work. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? Applin, I don't know. 260 BST, just a really bulky guy. Technically, you could use an evolution, but I'm not trying to do that, because, like, even Diplin's at 485, so... I don't know. Shroomish face. So there's a lot of different options here. Let me see, what else we got here? Leafeon, I don't know. Not a big fan of that one. Deerling's interesting. Toad School? Toad School's definitely an option. I like Toad School. Deerling's sitting at 335. I feel like that's a decent middle ground here. I don't hate that. There's a lot of grass types in this region, guys. Holy crap. Fungus. I don't mind Fungus, but again, it's just like, does he fit with Brassius? What's up, Crimson? Welcome on in. It's been a minute. You already have a normal grass, no deer? True, true. So it would either be Deerling or Dolive, right? And like Dolive just makes more sense. Would any of the Hoppip line work? Yeah, I do have Hoppip written down. Yeah, Brassius does have a lot of options. Is Cacnea an option? I feel like Cacnea, that's kind of a shoo-in, no? You get Bramblin. Toad School, I also think would be great. What's Tropius's BST? Is it like 460 or something? I really love Tropius, but I don't think it fits Brassius. Yeah, 460. Let's see. Fomantis, Capsicid also could work here. Dude, there's so much potential for Brassius, and this is what we got stuck with? Oh my gosh. Like, actually crazy. The question is, how are we going to narrow down the options? What's the BST of Scovillain, by the way? Deunda says Fungus looks like a Pokeball, and Brassius and I think... Oh, and I think Brassius would appreciate the artistry of that. That's fair. Honestly, Scovillain's got the Hoenn special. I think it'd be funny to throw a Hoenn special built Pokemon as like the second gym ace. That's an option for sure. I feel like either Bramblin or Bramblegast is a shoo-in. Like, it has to be there, no matter what. Yeah, and there's Cacnea. Do I have Cacnea written down? I do not. What else we got? I think that might be it. Yeah, there's Rotom Mo, but I'm not doing that. Snover, I'm good. I feel like that doesn't make sense to me. Lives in a very sunny environment. Brute Bonnet, now we're talking. Woshien, I think that could work. Lead for Brassius, in my opinion. I think Woshien could be the move. Great choices. Now let's go to Kofu. Wait, hold on. We gotta, like, actually choose one now. I like to imagine Bramblin giving Brassius its shedding vines to use as a whip. That'd be great, Unwanted. Yeah, I totally agree. Snow Warning Strats Gym 2. Now we're talking ice level. I'm glad we're all on the same page here, you know what I mean? You could use Bramblegast's pre-evolution, yeah. Scovillain feels a smidge too strong for Gym 2. That's fair as well. Cacnea, Bramblin, and Scovillain gives a desert cowboy vibe. No bias for me, obviously. Of course. Scovillain with Terra-type water, so he has all 3 starter stabs. That would go crazy. Now that's comedy. It says, I think Scovillain works as the player can have a level appropriate Armarouge or Cerulet. You gotta go pretty far out of your way for that, no? I feel like you gotta go pretty far out of your way. I do think that Cacnea makes sense as the lead. I think Toad School could be interesting. We have a lot of options still, though. Bounce Sweet, I'm gonna get rid of. I think that doesn't make sense to me. Applin, I'm good without. I think Deerling as well doesn't make sense because we have Dolive as an option. That item seems pretty far from that part of the region. I don't think the average player will have that yet. Yeah, exactly. That's what I think. You gotta go past the Electric Gym to get Armor Rouge or Ceruledge. Yes, exactly. Alright, so we have Cacnea as the lead. We have these three options as our potential ace. The question is, I think what it really comes down to is figuring out what the ace is, and then we just throw the opposites pre-evolution in the second slot. So Brassius, let's get into your character. What are you doing, Bulbapedia? What is this? You're giving my viewers an aneurysm. Give Brassius Fomantis? Odd. I don't think Fomantis is in the game. Revenge of the Contents box? Yeah, it's pretty rough. Alright, you guys talk about what ace you like the most. Brassius ace question mark. We have Bramblegast, Sunflora, or Scovillain. That'll get me every single time. Alright. You guys figure out what you guys want the most. I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be back, and we can finalize Brassius and move on, okay? We can move on to Iono. Alright? BRB. Don't go anywhere, okay? Don't go anywhere. I'm watching. And like the stream while you're at it. Okay, gamers, we're back. How we feeling? All right? Okay, we got 55% on Bramblegast right now. 52 actually. The Terra is more for defense, but it's nice if there's some move overlap. I agree, Crash Jet. Especially in the early game where I feel like specifically Terra Blast could be like too powerful. You know what I mean? Given that it's a tumbleweed, why not make it Terra Ground? That's interesting. I was thinking Terra Water, but Ground could work. Yeah, they did create Terra Blast for a reason, but I feel like it's too powerful because it's 80. Yeah, I should have done the chair spin. My bad, Delete. My bad. No, Kofu is not the third gem. Believe that goes to Iono. It's a little confusing because Kofu has 3 Pokemon, but Iono has 4. But Iono is the third gym leader in this game. Sunflora could be second Mon, repping the town's mascot. I feel like Sunflora plus Bramblegast is a bit too much in my opinion. Bramblegast, Terra Rock with Rollout. The only other thing that I want to try to do is to not overlap the Terra types as well. So, like, if we go Terra Rock on Brassius, I would probably say we should go back to Katie and figure out a different option there. Terra Poison could work to cover bug poison weaknesses, and Ghost Grass cover poison's weaknesses as well. That's interesting. Kofu is way easier than Iono, so my confusion is justified. This is true. This is true. Honestly, the rival fight with Nemona after Kofu is more difficult than Kofu. That's a great question, Unwanted. I would love to make a mod for Scarlet and Violet with my fixed teams, but I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. Katie as Terra Ground could work. This is true, Oliver. Alright, so I feel like, relatively speaking, we want Bramblegast as the ace. We're not too keen on Sunflora. And Scovillain is a close second place. So, for now, I'm gonna go with the Bramblegast route, but I am gonna keep note of the options here as other ace picks. Yep. And then we want... Okay, so let's say we go Bramblegast as the lead. What is the second Pokemon? I feel like it's gotta be Dolive, right? I feel like it's gotta be like that. Electric Spidops with an Electro Web? That's interesting. Okay. Kofu needs a complete team fix badly. Make him actually challenging in battle and worth remembering, like Whitney. True. But also, Iono is like the Whitney slot of this game, if that makes any sense. But for now, let's go with the Cacnea, Dolive, and Bramblegast route and see if we can build a team around this. I actually can't stand this contents thing. Let's go to Cacnea first. These are the stats of this guy. At 333 or 335, I feel like this works as a lead for a second gym team. Level up moves we are rocking at 16. We got Bullet Seed, and this is the ability slot. So what's the ability again? Is it Sand Veil? Yeah. Let's see. Is Water Absorb hidden? It is. Okay. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to stick with Sand Veil here, even though it's probably not going to get any utility whatsoever. I still think Shroomish should be in the first slot instead of Cacnea, but it does make sense. Okay. Interesting. Does Dolliv have Seed Sower or whatever to set up grass? Oh, that's an interesting point. So that could be the lead. Let's get there after this, since we're already here with Cacnea. So we got Bullet Seed. I like Leech Seed is here as well. The TM of choice is Trailblaze. Let's see if we can learn Trailblaze here. Surely we can, right? Yeah, we get Trailblaze. Low-key, I think we just throw that on there instead of Bullet Seed. We also get access to, like, Growth. I don't know if we want to go that angle, because we are going with the physical Trailblaze. Although Growth increases special attack and attack in modern gens, right? Is Cacnea able to learn Sandstorm? It is. It is able to learn that. So we could do that, I guess, but like that just makes the rest of the fight worse, right? I guess we go like Sand Attack, Poison Sting? I don't know, man. That seems a little not great. Power Trip is kind of crazy. Power is higher the more the user's stats have been raised. Wait, so like Trailblaze plus Power Trip would go insane, no? I kind of like bringing that down to level 16. Power Trip with Growth? Yeah. I kind of like that. And like maybe you could bring Growth too? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'll do like possibly Growth here instead of Poison Sting. I like that. Alright, Dolliv. What are we looking at with Dolliv? Can Dolliv set any grassy terrain for us? So we got Early Bird. Huge grab, huge pickup for us. Bring Sun too, so Growth is even more crazy. Oh my gosh. We could run a Chlorophyll set if we go Sunflora and we make it Terra Fire. I feel like that hits the same like level of thematic fun, I guess, that like grass type Sudowoodo is. You know what I mean? Oh man. I think, man, I don't know. I just feel like Sunflora can't be his ace. Because it needs to be a Gen 9 Pokemon. I want it to be. So, I don't know. I guess technically you could go like Scoville and Terra Fire only. I don't know. Anyways, Dolliv. What are we rocking here? Level 16. We got Flail. Huge pickup. Surely you get Trailblaze, yeah? Yeah. So Trailblaze. You get... not a lot else, to be honest. Like, you could also go Growth here. Tackle? I don't really want to teach it Flail. Dolliv can have Leech Seed protect Toxic. I don't think it gets Leech Seed. Oh, it gets it pretty late. weather ball shenanigans could go crazy. But yeah, there's, I guess it does get grassy terrain, so like, I don't know, do we think terrain is too crazy for Gym 2? I feel like we just talked about weather being too crazy for Gym 1, so I feel like terrain Gym 2 seems like a lot. Yeah, weather ball via TM could be fun. This is true, Dolive is special, but like, I guess we could bring down Mega Drain? Right? That doesn't feel too out of the ordinary. Give Dolive Charm? An interesting idea. Swift is another interesting idea. We get Swift. I don't even know if you actually get Swift, by the way. Oh, you do, it's right here. Like, I don't think it should be any more than this. I'd hold off on weather and terrain for mid-game. I kind of agree with that. So, like, you go growth. And then what? Like, I guess you go flail? I don't know. Maybe it rains here? Interesting. Weather ball, earth power, sunny day, weather ball. Okay. Alright. Yeah, exactly. I don't want Dolive's moveset to be insane. Let's stick with that for now. Bramblegast, what you got for us, bud? Level 17, so we do get Infestation, which is interesting. We got Wind Rider. Boosts the Pokemon's attack stat if Tailwind takes effect, or if the Pokemon is hit by a wind move. So, it's interesting. Do we even get Tailwind? You probably can't set it yourself, right? It'd be interesting if we could figure out a way to set Tailwind in this fight, but it's probably not gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen. We got, we want to run Trailblaze, right? So, that's there. And then, like, you don't need that much else outside of that. Rollout is interesting. Again, it really comes down to, like, the Terra type as well. I don't really know what we want to do about that. I guess Astonish, right? Maybe we do go, we do go Rock for this fight. Terra Rock. Hoppip line learns Tailwind by TM if we really wanted to. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. If we want to set Tailwind for Wind Rider, bring Hoppip on the team to learn Tailwind. There you go. We have weather, terrain, and competitive hidden abilities starting at Gen 5 or 6. Maybe if it applies by that point, you know? Possible. Give Bramblegast Disable. That's kinda interesting. I guess you could technically do like a rollout defense curl angle, perhaps? That can actually be fun, but also depends on Hoppip getting a chance to set it up. This is true, but also isn't Hoppip already pretty fast? Never mind. I don't know. It'd be fun if we could get Skiploom here. I guess we could go in that approach, I don't know. But, let's see. I'm gonna check on Bulbapedia. If Bramblegast can learn a single water-type move, I highly, highly, highly doubt it, but dude, this is so bad. I don't see anything, yeah. So there's not a lot of options for Terra types here. Changing Terra type to rock for theming, with the city for all the art statues. Oh, I do like Confuse Ray TM. You're unlikely to have ice moves at this point, but still. Yeah. Disable is a good way to check spammers, true. Would it be unreasonable to have Skiploom with Tailwind in the second slot? No, not at all. Like, instead of Dolive, I could see it. Skiploom with Tailwind. Okay. I think I'm at an interesting point with Brassius. I think really what it comes down to is what we want to Terra into. If we do change this to Rock, I think the rollout could work. And then we'll just have to go back to Katie and figure out a different typing there. That's fine. Not a problem. We'll figure it out. But I think I want to move on to Iono, folks. I think it's that time. Okay, Iono. The cities the gym leaders live at are good inspiration for choosing the Pokemon and moves for them. This is true. Speed-focused gym leader count, too? True? Listen, this is an O-Creations video, okay? All of them are gonna have speed control. Alright, so Iono. This is a very peculiar team. A lot of people love it because of the Mismagius Terra type into Electric, and it's got the Levitate ability. That's all fine and dandy. Believe you me. What's funny, in my opinion, is that Iono has 4 Pokemon, whereas the next 2 gym leaders only have 3. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of wild. So, what I've done, at least for now, is I've set up the layout of this to... Because the problem is, I know if I put Iono's team back down to 3 Pokemon, a lot of people are going to complain. Like, so many people are going to give me comments talking about that. So, I think what I should do is go with the Pokemon Emerald approach, and we've got 4 Pokemon by Gym 3, but it also just continues into Kofu, Larry, Rhyme, and Tulip. So we're gonna start there. James Bell says, this might be a bit much, but I think it'd be fun if Bellibolt was the only Pokemon on her team weak to ground. Give her a Rotom. I've also heard that a lot. Darkrai says the same thing. Adding Rotom seems really interesting. I really like this too, especially because Rotom can be found like right outside of Levencia, if I'm not mistaken. I remember reading a theory that Iono is a Rotom in an android body, and I can't unsee how much Rotom theming she has. She definitely needs one somewhere on her team. Okay, interesting. Gym 4 not having 4 Pokemon is a crime. Gotta go with the Surge approach and only do 1 Pokemon. That's what I'm talking about, Crimson. That's why you're a mod. We gotta bring back the Surge Yellow approach and just have the 1 Bellibolt at level 35 and just see what happens, okay? Some people are saying to make it Terra Ice, so that, because ground is weak to ice, and ground is super effective against electric. That would be more of an offensive approach. I think if we want to keep the theming of Iono, we go Terra Flying so that it doesn't actually take ground type moves, you know? Give her the Speaker Rotom from Pokopia. I wish I could, Sakura. I know how to fix Paldea gym leaders. Just kill them all, then nuke the region. So fair, Tom. So fair. Where's my moober? Right here. There's actually a new redeem for moober, or moobie. If you haven't seen it, I think someone should do !redeem moob in chat and see what happens. Although it's not on this screen, actually. Hold up. It's not gonna work, actually. Don't do it, don't do it. It only works on one screen. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's just not gonna work. It's just gonna take your money. Wait, why is it just continually doing it now? Okay, okay, we're fine, we're fine. It only works on the GBA scene. I haven't set it up on all the scenes yet, my bad. It's not broken, it's all good. Okay, anyways, so Iono, Watrel, Bellybolt, Luxio, and Mismagius. Ideally, we still stick with the 4 Pokemon here. I'm really tempted to just give Iono 3 Pokemon, but let's take a look at what we have in terms of options. So, I'll write down, we have Watrel, we've got, honestly, I'm just going to put Bellybolt in the last slot. I feel like that just makes sense. Luxio is just kind of here, in my opinion. I don't like Luxio on this squad whatsoever. There is the Palmy line. That is an option, and of course this would at least be Palmo at this point. I hate this guy, but it is an option. You've got the Pikachu line. I don't really want to use Pikachu here. I feel like that wouldn't make sense to me. Please give her an all-new set of Pokemon. With all 4 move slots? Yep. Luxio with Intimidate isn't bad, but there's probably something better. Yeah. But Luxio just feels random, exactly, Oliver. Palmont is Nemona's secondary ace, that's fair. Oricorio could be interesting, but I don't feel like it makes sense for... Like, the only thing I could think of is, like, maybe Oricorio is, like, a cheerleader or, like, a fan of Iono's streams? I don't know. I'll throw it in there just cuz. Terra Electric Mimikyu? Now we're talking, Tom. Now we're talking. What else we got? We got the Flaffy line. Flaffy could be interesting. Although, well, yeah, I don't think a lot of people use it. Oricorio would be one of the Pokemon used by her gym trainers? True, exactly. Is there, like, a hype squad? I feel like that's only for Kanari, right? You got Jolteon. I feel like Jolteon doesn't really work. You could throw, like, Toxtricity here, but again... Well... What is the BST of this guy? I feel like it's relatively high, right? We're sitting at 502, and then Bellybolt's what, like high 400s? Is it even 500? Yeah, 495. Yeah, so maybe not Toxtricity, but possibly like a Toxel? I feel like Toxel is like too weak for this thing, you know? Bellybolt, Kilowattrel, Dedenne, I don't know, man. I'll note Dedenne and Patchy Isu just in case. She has Pokefan trainers, but I don't know if it's like an official hype squad. Gotcha. Is Magnemite in this Pokedex? Oh yeah, it totally is. Yeah, why does she not use a Magnemite, bro? What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? That doesn't make any sense! Why doesn't Iono use a Magnemite? Dedenne being the antenna for her streams? It's kind of a fun way to incorporate it. I'm kind of tired of Voltorb. I'm not even going to write it down, to be honest. And then Rotom. I think Rotom is a must-add, right? We all thought that there was going to be a Paldean form for the Magnemite line. Oh yeah, because the character art leaked before the game came out, right? Missed opportunity from Game Freak. Classic Game Freak, folks. Classic Game Freaks. Pachirisu because it's a world champion. It's funny. Yeah, Toxel's too weak for this, for sure. Pincurchin could be an interesting lead. I have no idea what it does, but it's here. Now, crazy idea, folks. Crazy idea. What if we just say, screw you to Canary, and we give Electric, or even Electros, to Iono? Pincurchin has Electric Surge, but nothing else? Okay. Sandy Shocks. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay. So I'm pretty convinced that Bellybolt's going to be the ace. I think Rotom is going to be like the secondary fun addition. Let's throw Rotom in there as a guarantee. I also think that Magnemite is a guarantee. Evo level is too high for Tynamo. True. It would fit the anti-ground strategy, but Tynamo is one of those Unova mons that evolves way too late. True. I see Iono and Canary being enemies towards each other as streamers. Yeah, they could probably be competing against each other. I see it. Also, important to note, for some reason, the TM of choice here that you get for battling Iono, you'll never guess. It's Volt Switch. But nobody on her team uses it. What are we doing here? Like, why? I don't understand. So, it'd be nice to figure out a way to make use of Volt Switch here. I know Rotom's gonna be crazy with the Levitate. Also, I don't think I want Rotom to be a specific form. I know it's like, it's got a lower BST. I think, when it's in its base form. Let me triple check this. My goodness. Okay, yeah, 440 versus 520. So it is a stark difference, but I think that works in our favor here. Rotom? Yeah, exactly. Maybe they didn't want another Emolga Volt Switch situation? Yeah, true. Almost all of her team uses Spark and her ace uses Charge Beam. Why isn't Charge Beam the TM? It is a TM, no? Because I would low-key be down to switch it to Charge Beam. Yeah, it's TM23. I would be so in favor of changing it, especially if we do want to like move away from copying Elisa. I'm gonna write it down here because I think Charge Beam works really well at this level, at the level cap that we're at of 24. It's faster in base form? Oh, that's an interesting point, too. 91 versus 86. I didn't even notice that. Okay. So... Rotom. What do you, why do I keep typing in Rotom incorrectly? Root M. Charge Beam is another missed golden opportunity, Game Freak. Exactly. I love how we can just gather around in my chat and collectively hate on Game Freak. Even though, like, I have a lot of love for Game Freak because they created Pokemon, something I love a lot and enjoy a lot. Okay, So I've written down Charge Beam. We've got Belly Bolt, and its ability is what? Electromorphosis? Something like that. Could do Electro Ball if most of the team is faster. That's a good call as well. But let's say, like, this is the slot for TMs, for the TM. We're at level 23. Let's go, like, Confuse Ray. I like a little Confuse Shenanigans. And then what else do we do here? Astonish feels a little too weak to me. Nightshade could be interesting. Shadow Ball seems like too much. Is there something we can do in between? Hex? We could do a little Hex Shenanigans, but again, like, Hex and Confuse Ray do not coincide. Another crazy missed opportunity by Game Freak. Hex Thunderwave could be an option, true. Do we want to enable Hex, though, on the Pokemon that's not even the ace? Like, I would almost be more in favor of relying on, like, Static. I don't know. Yes, we do. I love hating on Game Freak for not at all legitimate reasons. Just the most minor design inconsistencies. Yeah, exactly. Me too. Ruined the experience for the children. Double team? Dude, I think that's one thing I will never try to put on a team, okay? Alright. I'm gonna skip this. Something slightly more chill. X would be 90 base power with Stab. Adding on status buff would make it massively OP at this point. I kind of agree with that. Astonish, T-Wave, Confuse Ray to never let the player move again. Now we are talking! Now we're talking. We could do that. We could do a little status shenanigans. I'll write that down just in case. Okay, Belly Bolt. Let's take a look there. I know we're kind of doing this in opposite, but that's okay. I guess another interesting thing we could do here is Terra Water. Because Belly Bolt is a frog, right? So, like, that could be interesting, although it doesn't necessarily work out. It could work out, because water is super effective into ground. That's definitely more of, like, an offensive angle rather than a defensive. But in terms of moves, you get Charge Beam, I'm assuming. Yeah, so Charge Beam is there. And you've got the Electromorphosis on top of that. I like Slack Off. What do you have in the base team? It's just Water Gun and Spark? What are we doing, Iono? Seriously, man. It's got a pretty massive special attack, so let's keep that in mind. And then, like, you get Mudshot, too. Little speed control for you. There we go. I set the line. It does get, like, Water Pulse. What does Chilling Water do exactly? Oh, it lowers the attack stat by 1 stage. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of down for a little Chilling Water action. What's the website I'm using to check moves and stuff? This is Secret Base. It was specifically designed for Pokemon Sea Glass, but they also have a National Dex built into it. And then I'm also using Bulbapedia at the same time, but they have this, like, contents thing. It's a bug. It's, like, constantly showing on the screen, so it's kind of annoying. Okay, Magnemite. What do I want to be the lead? Like, I'm kind of feeling You could go Watrel. You could go with like a Pika clone. I think Pombo's off the list. I own notes. Potential team members. Kilowatrel. When do you evolve? Level 25? Eh. Honestly, you could raise everyone's levels by 2 and evolve it. Maybe. But I'd rather keep things... I don't know. Ooh, Magnemite with Magnet Rise is interesting. I like the Watrel angle, make half the team immune to ground. Yeah. I know it's just 2 levels away, but... I don't know. What's the BST of this guy? $490? That seems pretty close to Belly Bolt. I don't know, I think this is a Watrel. Most players' Pokemon's team won't be fully evolved yet. Exactly. 280 is pretty atrocious, I must say. See if we can play into that. It's got a higher special attack. This is Wind Power or Volt Absorb. I guess we go Wind Power. I don't know. Because, like, there could be some synergy with, like, Volt Absorb and Terra Water or Terra Flying with Belly Bolt. Tailwind for speed control? Oh, man. You're speaking my language. It does get Tailwind. We could potentially do that. 23, though, we got... Surely it learns Charge Beam, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's start with Charge Beam. We go Roost. We go... Ideally, it has, like, Air Cutter. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, it does get Air Cutter. Kind of okay with it getting that, especially because its BST is pretty low. It can set up its own Tailwind. I don't know, maybe... I'll consider it. That feels like it might be too much, but I don't know. I'll throw it on there just in case. Roost on a frail Pokemon? I don't know, I usually like healing, but... Alternatively, we can go Thunder Wave. Tailwind and U-turn could be interesting. Tailwind into... U-turn. Yeah. I guess Charge Beam doesn't really matter then, but... It does become weak to ground type during it, that's a fair point. Gyms do use potions. Oh yeah, could just run the classic Volt Switch Gambit. Could run Volt Switch Tailwind on Watrel. I'll note that down. Pluck Watrel could be fun, this is true. Okay, let's move on to Magnemite real quick. I do think I want it to be a Magnemite and not a Magneton. Right? Because it evolves level 30. I know Magneton was used on Watson's squad, but I feel like Rotom fits the Magneton slot of this team, if that makes any sense. But the problem is Magnemite is really weak. If you go, let's say you go Sturdy, because this is Modern Sturdy, and then you run the TM with Charge Beam. Sure, you can do Magnet Rise. What else? In terms of BST, yes, yeah. Light screen's interesting. Light screen's interesting for sure. And reflect. Let's do like a reflect slash light screen angle. And then potentially thunder wave or like you get like a mirror shot. You really not get mirror shot, bro? Wow. Kind of grody. And like gyro ball is not gonna do much, right? Power raises when the user has lower speed. Maybe? Yeah, wait. Flash cannon might not be too much? Really? It is 80 base power. I feel like Game Freak always fumbles with movesets. I like either gyro ball or flash cannon. Something like that. But I feel like... Oh, mirror shot doesn't exist in Gen 9. That's interesting to log. Champions is melting my brain. I was trying to think of a way to skill swap levitate onto Magnemite. There you go. There you go. That's true. Gyro ball is physical in nature. Maybe a simple confuse ray or like some way to hit ground types. There you go. All right, I'm pretty satisfied with this. You got the setup potential with charge beam. You got a couple of levitate options here. And then you got some coverage on the ace. This feels pretty sweet to me. I'll consider making this Terra Water. Yeah, I was also thinking Metal Sound. That could work too. Because I feel like Terra Water would make sense thematically because it's Belly Bolt, but I feel like it doesn't really make sense with Iono's character. So I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But with that, let's move on. How are we doing on time? It's 8:24. I think we're doing okay. Let's move on to Kofu, folks. So Kofu's interesting. Everybody and their mom hates Veluza. I actually used Veluza, excuse me, on my first playthrough of Scarlet. I'm not proud of this fact, okay? Terra flying and bounce? Does Belly Bolt get bounce? This might change the game. Let me check this real quick. It's not. Dang. Let me see if it can be bred. Yeah, where is Veluza's signature move? That's what I'm talking about. What are we doing, Game Freak? Again. Speed focus gym leaders count 3. Classic. Yeah, no bounce, interestingly enough. Okay, so there's a couple problems that I have with this team. It would be a fitting move for a frog. I agree, Crimson. Obviously, Veluza's not using its signature move. Aqua Cutter is a good move, though, I will say. Bug Trio is just kind of here. Gooey is nice, because doesn't that decrease speed? Yeah, listen, that's speed control right there. I think we're good. I think Kofu's good as is. No changes, guys. No changes. And then, of course, you got Crabominable. Really fun idea because it's like a crab that goes Terra Water. I think the unfortunate thing for me when it comes to Kofu is the fact that Dondozo works super well for the cook, the chef character, but the problem is Dondozo is already being used as a Titan, or at least the false Titan, right? So like I don't know if I want to use it, especially like as the ace, but I'm kind of thinking that Dragon could be an interesting Terra type for Kofu because it resists electric and grass type. 3 moves, yeah, it's pretty insane. So I feel like that would really work super well with Dondozo as well, because it's like a fake dragon, you know? As an Athol over on Twitch says, scrap his entire team and give him a Dondozo and Tatsugiri double battle. I'd love to do that. But what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this, guys? That's my problem. Are we changing an entire Titan? Why does Chi-Yu, the fish, get bounced, but but not the freaking frog? That is crazy. Egg Blaine. Something that should be kept in mind when fighting Kofu, there is permanent sandstorm that holds priority over weather setting abilities and makes them fail. Is that true? Why do I like not remember that at all? Also, TM of choice here is chilling water. Let's keep that in mind. I'd say save Dondozo for the rematch. I think I agree with that, Log. It is true, it happened to you. So it's like, it can happen. That's kind of crazy. Why are we doing that? Like, I get that Cascarafa is in the desert, but that feels so strange to me. Okay. Anyways, it's random if it's active. That's so weird. Okay, so water typing. Let's look at our water types. There's going to be a lot of them. So lock in a little bit. Gotta lock in a bit. Okay. It jumped me down to here. Okay. Holy crap, there's so many water types. Someone in chat said Gastrodon. Now that's comedy. Says Gastrodon would be sick as a water ground type that benefits from the sand. That is an interesting point. Give him Palafin and be done with it? Yeah, so here's the other thing. Let me go to the database. Or I guess this is fine. If you go to Gen 9 and you look at the water types, these are our options, right? So this would be our ace pool. Dondozo is there, but again, it doesn't really work, even though I would love to use it as his ace. So that kind of leaves us with Veluza and Palafin, which I really don't feel like makes sense for Kofu. You know what I mean? It's not just Kofu, it can happen with other battles. I had Rain start during my match against Clavel, and he was using Quaquavel at the time. There you go. Yeah, not a lot of options for Kofu. Pelipper plus Swift Swim Barraskewda would be diabolical. He says Vaulton Veluza, so you're kind of stuck with him? That's hilarious. But I don't think Veluza makes for a good ace. It's at 478 BST, whereas Palafin is at 457, but it's got that whole 0 to hero thing. Let me see what its base stat potential is there. So 650. And I do like that it's like I think it could work here. It's Gym 4, yes, but it's very situational for this to work. So it would be Palafin lead, and this would be the level 30 Mon, right? It'd work like Scyther for Bugsy. He's a chef, so having only delicacy Pokemon would make sense. It's more than Slacking. Okay, this is crazy, because Slacking was Gym 5. Slacking was Gym 5. Bug Trio as Ace, now we're talking. Now we are talking. 425 BST. Palafin Evo is 38. Oh. Are we gonna be upset if we have a Palafin here? Ground Terra Book Trio? Oh, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun, Neunda. Resists Electric and references Doug Trio. Let me write that down. Write that down, write that down! The dolphin hunts are brutal over there. Watch a documentary, it's horrific. Oh no. People in Japan eat dolphins? Oh no. So wouldn't you want Flip Turn as the TM if Palafin is Ace? Yeah, I was thinking about that. Is that possible? What are we doing here? Flip Turn. It's TM 196, so that is a possibility. If we go with this approach, there's so many TMs in Scarlet and Violet, it's crazy. We could do it. So Palafin is fine as the Ace for food theme. Oh god. That's crazy. Then later, maybe Champion Gita loses Veluza and has Palafin. So people are saying, should Veluza be the Ace? Honestly, I could kind of see it, right? Because then Veluza does work, theming-wise. And then... what's its, is it Fillet Away? Is that the... It gets Fillet Away level 30, so that kind of works out really well. That's interesting. Okay, so other water-type Pokemon, let's start there. I'm just going to start by typing this way. So we have Gastrodon. That's interesting because it could have synergy with Sand. I feel like maybe we could go Slowbro or Slowking. Right? Like a Slowking consumer of food, perhaps? I guess technically you could go Finizen at that point. I do like Palafin on Gita more than here. The BST is kind of crazy. Yeah. I kind of agree. I kind of agree. RDK is back. You love to see it. Slowpoke tail reference, that too. Okay, what else do we have? Wug Trio? I don't know, man. Maybe? Could you do like a Paldean Tauros? Maybe? Vaporeon, I'm good. Whiscash would be very similar to Gastrodon, and low-key I feel like it fits Kofu's character a bit more. Basculin, I don't know, maybe. What about Venonat? Wait, what do you mean? Slowking on Kofu does sound nice. Yeah, I kind of agree. Surf and Turf, perfect. They are nearby, that's not too bad. I totally misspelled Basculin, you'll love to see it. There is Barraskewda. Barraskewda, in my opinion, could work with that Swift Swim touch, but the problem is I feel like it's very similar to Veluza. So maybe you want to diversify a little bit. You could go Gyarados, but I kind of want to stay away from Gyarados just because everyone and their mom uses it. You could go Pelipper to set Rain, I guess. Dreadnought, kind of interesting, but again, I feel like I don't want to... It kind of does fit Kofu's vibe, but I don't want to like double up on the previous water gym leader, you know? And that would also work well with the sand, I guess. Psyduck or Golduck, I'm good. Floatzel, kind of interesting, but also kind of doubling up on Crash or Wake. Azumarill, I don't know. There's so many water types, yeah. What have we got in the back here? We got Basculegion. Oh, this can't be right. There we go. Okay. Wait, why are you back here? Oh my gosh. Okay. All the legendaries. Here we go. Okay. So, late in the decks, you got Iron Bundle, you got the Tatsugiri, Dondozo, Veluza, your classics. You got Toxapex, that could work, I guess. Dreadnought for Turtle Soup, that's crazy. Kofu is more of a Gen 1 coded guy, maybe. Actually, all three forms of Tatsugiri should be fought at different points in the game. The Titan should be one, Kofu should have one, and Hassel should have one. It's kind of an interesting idea. I'll write down Tatsugiri, because then it would work out like in the rematch if we bring Dondozo. There is Clawitzer. Clawitzer, famously, is an edible Pokemon, or an edible animal, rather. Kind of don't want to include Dragalge here. Alomomola, rather. I don't necessarily see. Ruxish, not really either. Like, maybe Cloyster, but then Cloyster's also being used by... Come on, remember his name. What's his name? Dog guy. I already forgot his name, chat. I forgot his name. Ruxish belongs on Tulip's team. Interesting. We should give Kofu Bruxish for the lulz and the vibes. Yeah. Clearly, Kofu needs Walking Wake. This is true. Thank you, Eye of Stained Glass. It is Arvin, right? So Cloyster is also being used by Arvin, and Arvin is kind of a food-centric guy. So I don't know if I want to double up on that. Well, Arvin has Cloyster because he's a food-centric guy, you know? Like, all of his Pokemon are food-centric in the same way. Everyone has a cooking theme in this game! This is crazy! What are we doing here? I like Tatsu, 475 BST and little weaknesses is good. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. So, like, let's look at this. Let's go, like, Tatsugiri's here. I just don't know. Like, no one else, like, really is catching vibe. Like, you could go Whiscash and then Slowking or something? Does Larry count as a cooking theme too? I don't think so, right? I also don't want to double up on the water psychic type, you know? Slowking would do that. I guess, is Gym 4 too early for weather? Like, I could see this being the vibe. You go Pelipper, Tatsugiri, Whiscash, and Veluza. And honestly, I don't hate the Wug Trio. Like, Wug Trio could be left on the squad. They made a Mon named Lechonk. I think Game Freak was just very hungry making this game. I agree with that, Crimson. I guess, yeah, Larry is a consumer of food. I prefer Gastrodon over Whiscash. I feel like Whiscash makes more sense with Kofu, right? Like, look at Kofu's forehead, right? And then look at Whiscash's, you know? Look at him. Gym 4 is too late for weather? You're crazy, Gakabo. You're crazy. Weather can be in Gym 4 anyway, so the leader's trying to set it up wouldn't be an issue. That's a fair point. Yeah, they both have facial hair. And he's got like the same color scheme going on too. Should Titans be used on gym leader teams? Yeah, so I do agree that we should probably avoid that. What I've done is we wanted Dondozo here originally. So maybe Tatsugiri also should wait until post-game. Or like the rematch. The sand ruins any weather he tries to run, by the way. Interesting. So you're saying, like, we should just not even try to set it up? We are not counting DLC, J-Money, because we want this to also count for, like, when the game came out, opening day. You know what I mean? Taro Water Licky Licky is crazy. I see the vision, though. They're the same picture, exactly, Crash Jet. I like Clawitzer too, looks tasty. Yeah. Gastrodon is escargot? Ooh, that's interesting. I'll note both of them here. Oh, what if he had Golduck with Cloud 9? I guess the only problem with Golduck is he evolves at like level 37, right? I think it's interesting you can choose to fight him when the sand is up to avoid rain. But does it completely block Drizzle? I've heard enough, give him Dracovish. I don't care that he was not in the game. What would the team look like if we got Terra Groundwug Trio? I don't know, man. Kofu's a mess. I kind of want to just, like, move on from this guy. Like, maybe you go Paldean Tauros? It's level 33, not 38? Oh, okay. That's a little bit less egregious, but... If the team is rain-centric, you're basically asking all players to nerf him by battling in the sand. This is true. This is true. What's up, what's up, Honey Pools? Sunkern? It's a great option, yeah. Brassius is known for living in a city surrounding Sunflora. Gastrodon is closer to Sea Slug than Escargot. Okay. Most sea slugs are toxic. There you go. I have my justification. Better to just have a water ground type or two and deal with sand? Yeah, maybe. Well, there you go. You could also go like the Dreadnought angle, because that would be rock type, and that could work as well. Um, but like low-key, what else even works here? Like, I guess Slowking could work, but I don't want another Water Psychic, ideally. So, like, we go Toxapex lead, I guess? What level does Clawitzer evolve? Is that Waterstone? That's not Waterstone, right? Level 37, man, yeah. 30s is egregious for Golduck? I agree. I thought Sunkern was on the thumbnail. Oh. Silly, silly. Toxapex is more of a poison Pokemon. Whole strategy is Baneful Bunker. I guess, yeah. Fair point, but like it lives on the beaches in this game. I mean, it's so frustrating because Cloyster could work here because it is Waterstone, right? Would Palafin be insensitive? I feel like it would be a lot. The cook maybe shouldn't use a dolphin. That's what we were discussing earlier, Super. Alright, low-key, I feel like we should just skip the rest of Kofu, and I'm just gonna figure this out later, because there's just too much here. Like, I gotta narrow it down a little bit. We have a little bit. I think let's take a look at, like, the moveset for Veluza, at least, and then we'll move on. How about that? So we go Fillet Away. What's the ability here? Ooh, can we get Sharpness? Surely that's hidden ability, yeah. I think it's too early for hidden ability, folks. So it's Mold Breaker. Mold Breaker. And then we go... Ooh, Aqua Jet's probably going to be pretty good for us. We want that speedy priority move. You go Fillet Away. Some healing would be nice. I wonder if we just strap this with like a Citrus Berry and call it a day. Base form Palafin is okay, but Hero being a possibility is kind of broken, I agree. The Dragalge idea could work since the gym challenge is buying prized seaweed. Oh, that's kind of a fun idea. You can get Scale Shot as a dragon move. Ooh. You're right. What does Scale Shot do again? Is this 2 to 5 moves? Yeah. Who gets this move? Is this a Roaring Moon exclusive? I was about to say, I don't think I've ever seen this move be used before. It is TM200 Scarlet and Violet. Okay. Boosts the user's speed and lowers their defense by 1 stage after inflicting damage. Whoa. Wait, is that real? If the user does not miss, the user's speed is raised by 1 while its defense is lowered by 1. Okay. And how does that coexist with Fillet Away? Because isn't Fillet Away like... Is it Belly Drum? Okay, so... Raises attack, special attack, and speed by 2 stages. Okay. So you could go Scale Shot, I guess. Almost every Dragonmon gets Scale Shot now? Okay. Yeah, I'm just not familiar with modern games, so like... Or as much, I should say. So this is like kind of interesting for me, because I feel like I'm learning more about modern Pokemon, in a way. And then Aqua Cutter probably... Right? But you probably want some coverage as well, so maybe we get rid of Aqua Jet for something else. Probably give an item to Veluza. Yeah, I'm feeling like Citrus Berry, but like you could give it something else. Psycho Cut. That might be okay, even though it's learned at level 40. Maybe you go like Zen Headbutt. Because it's not getting sharpness anyways. I'll go Zen Headbutt here, because it's like... It is less reliable, yes, but you do get the flinch chance as well. I'm kind of okay with this for now. Okay, cool. I can't deal with Kofu anymore. I'm out. We're moving on to Larry, folks. I can't deal with it. Okay, Larry, not of the Elite Four, please. Please. Out of my face, contents. This is absurd. Okay, you get the gist of it, though. Kamala, the Dunsparce, Staraptor. EQ double down on hitting electric types or anything levitating. That's interesting. I'll write it down. Especially if it does get it. But I'm thinking Terra Ghost makes the most sense here. Prove me wrong, please, if there is a better option. But for now, let's take a look at the possibilities for Larry. Gen 9, normal types. Okay. Low key? Low key? Has anyone ever thought of Larry using a mouse hold before? He's a family man. He works in corporate. He's getting his paycheck. And he's providing for his family. No? Unwanted says, to me, the best way to learn the most from each Pokemon of every generation is by watching the anime. I don't have time, unfortunately, for that. Larry of the Lake, what is your wisdom? Honestly, these three work so well on Larry's team. Speed Focus Gym Leader count 4? Question mark? Only pure normal types, except for Staraptor, who becomes pure normal anyways. That's how it should be, in my honest opinion. Ooh, did Dunsparce ace with Flying Terra to call out his E4 typing? That's interesting. Goes into normal's only weakness of fighting? That's fair. I think that's really what it comes down to, again, with these, is do I want the Terra type to be more defensive or offensive? Because I do think that flying could work here. Oh, one of his rematch teams has it? Really? Not seeing it. Yeah. I hate this contents thing. This is awful. But yeah, Dunsparce is already a pretty great guy. Terra fighting so he can spam close combat. Reference the mega that comes later, true. I think Mouse Hold could be fun on Larry. I kind of agree. Given the most boring Gen 9 normal type for his ace, now we're talking. Though I don't think he has a family, he works to support himself. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Fair point, fair point. What's the BST of the Dunsparce? We're sitting at 520. Mouse Hold, I'm assuming, is a little bit lower, right? 470? Okay, so maybe it's not the ace. I do kind of like the Dunsparce as the ace, right? Like, really stupid Pokemon, but I really love him at the same time. You could still go Kamala. It's an interesting Pokemon. You throw Mouse Hold on the squad. Persian maybe fits Larry thematically. Oh god, okay, this is gonna take a bit to look at all of the normal type options. Bear with me, chat. Okay, so you could go Oink alone, right? He uses one on his rematch squad. Let's go Larry Notes. Yes, the one from Curb Your Enthusiasm. You could go Oink alone. Honestly, Fairy to Dunsparce is fun. Resist fighting, and Fairy is always threatening. That's true. True. You could go Gumshoes, I guess, but I don't know. Cyclozar, that's crazy. Redent, kind of interesting since he's a consumer of the food at the shop that he works at. Another bulky guy. I feel like Blissey, probably not. Wigglytuff, I could kind of see. Oinkologne feels like more like a gym trainer Pokemon. That's true. Ooh, yeah, Greedent does overlap with Arven. That's a good call. Yeah, I think Maushold is a great pick here. Slacking... I don't know. This is Gym 5, right? So, like, I don't want to overlap Norman too much, but you could go, like, Vigoroth, perhaps? Not Arboliva. Technically, Larry can still have Staraptor, right? Don't hate it. Squawkabilly is an option. We have to write it down, okay? We have to write it down. It's an option. I do like, Kamala. I feel like Arboliva doesn't make sense, right? Especially if we're putting Dolive on Brassius' squad. Persian, you could argue for maybe Zangoose. Go Sawsbuck here, just like a normal... Girafarig, I feel like maybe not. I think Farigiraf is also used by Tulip. Grafaiai doesn't make sense for Larry, because Larry is like by the books corporate guy, and I feel like Grafaiai is literally like graffiti incarnate. So that doesn't make sense to me. Stantler, I don't know. Ditto would be crazy in my opinion. Lead Ditto would be pretty insane. Does anybody use Grafaiai? I don't think so, right? Unless, is there a poison? Isn't poison a Team Star guy? Ursaring is also an interesting angle. There's so many options here. Atticus does. Okay. Yeah, Ursaring or Zangoose, maybe. I don't think Pyroar makes sense. Male and DD. A lot of normal Psychics I'm realizing. Honestly, I kind of like Cyclozar just because everybody has one in the region. Feels like a very stock standard Pokemon to have. Another normal Psychic, there's like so many of them. Oranguru, Braviary. Yeah, I don't know. Grafaiai should be used by Atticus, but for some reason he doesn't have one. Crazy. Gumshoes feels like very business. Yeah, this is true. We have a lot of options here, folks. This is kind of crazy. This playlist slaps. Absolute bangers coming on. That's the idea. I'm glad you think so. Okay, but I think, generally speaking, we know that we want Dunsparce as the ace, right? You could save Cyclozar for Hassel? Maybe, but what is Hassel's team right now? Like, what's the BST of Cyclozar, bro? I didn't know it was that high, to be honest. I thought it was going to be like 450. That's interesting. I mean, you could give him a team of all goofy mons. He's the serious guy, but he loves the rebellious mons that act like kids. Maybe. Indeed, he feels like the most normal of the psychic options. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Cyclozar Shed-Tail lead on Hassel would go hard. I still think a flying type makes sense, so I'm considering just keeping Staraptor on the squad. Like, low-key, this could work as is, right? You got Kamala, you got Mousehold, you got the classic ace that he used to have, you still keep the Intimidate factor. I'm gonna start filling in the movesets here, because I think there are other options that could work, but... I don't know, maybe you could swap out Staraptor with Squawkabilly? Yeah, what about his current 3 plus Mousehold? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I feel like this is low-key okay. Alright, so Kamala. Kamalala. What do we got working with here? By the way, let's look at the TM of choice real quick. TM here is Facade, by the way, so if we want to throw slacking on the squad, you are not beating the Norman allegations, okay? So, let's keep that in mind. I don't think we've got any Guts users. But I think Facade... Bro, doesn't Facade work with, like, Comatose? No? That's interesting. Let's see if Facade has anything about Comatose on it. No. Okay. Okay, it doesn't actually have the status condition. Okay. But it cannot be afflicted with non-volatile status conditions or become drowsy. So I don't know. A lot of players lost to Larry before. Toxic boost, Zangoose with Facade. That would be pretty powerful. Coil with Dragon Rush for done. But Rufflet. Oh, Squawkabilly gets Guts? That's funny. Too high level? Yeah, that would be crazy. I'm very curious to see if Facade works with Kamala, because I'm curious why they didn't throw Facade onto the guy to begin with, you know? It gets hit with Dream Eater and Nightmare? Interesting. Thank you for the chat, Jake, by the way. Did you discuss Chansey yet? No, I feel like it doesn't make sense for the guy, but please, if you have a reason, go for it. We've got Comatose. I like the addition of Kamala. I've never seen another user of it, so... Peace out, Unwanted. Thank you for joining. Does Facade work with sleep? Well, like, you would never know because you can't use Facade while you're asleep. According to the damage calculator, Comatose does not interact with Facade. Okay. Kamala is technically asleep all the time, so it can't be indicated or inflicted with status, but it doesn't get the benefits of being afflicted by status either. Interesting. What does Comatose do? It acts as though the Pokemon is asleep, but it doesn't actually have the status condition. It's very bizarre to me. But it's very good in the sense that it can't be status. The problem is it's like it completely goes against the TM of choice. gonna look up a list of TMs in Scarlet and Violet and see if there's one that makes more sense for Larry. There's Facade. Swift is too weak in my opinion. All Swipe, I'm good. Body Slam, I don't know, that feels like a very powerful move. You could go Body Slam. Terra Blast, it's kind of funny. Swords Dance, Substitute. Dude, if Larry worked as like a substitute teacher and used Substitute as the TM, that would be really cool. Probably doesn't work here, but I do like the idea. Hyper Voice, maybe? Encore is interesting, but like from an AI perspective, I feel like Encore doesn't work very well. Like it works better as a move that the player uses, right? Both ideas conflict with each other, but they both work for the trainer. Yeah, maybe. Could go Baton Pass, maybe. It might just be the best option. Yeah. Okay, so like let's say we stick with this approach. It's probably why Kamala doesn't have Facade. What other moves does this guy get? It's got Rollout. I do like Rollout. It kind of staves off. Well, maybe not. Workup would be funny for Larry. AI can use Encore decently if the player tries to set up. This is true. There's good and bad with it, for sure. But level 35, I feel like we can do better than Slam, right? You could go Rapid Spin, just to get rid of things, or like hazards, but I feel like that's not necessary this early. Like, low-key, I kind of want to just teach this thing Body Slam. Can Kamala have Snore? Can it? Let me check on the Bulbapedia side. I feel like I can see things better here. Besides the whole contents thing. Endeavor and priority moves. Rapid Spin also boosts speed. Oh, that's a fair call out. It can't learn Snore. That's so strange, because... So it can use Sleep Talk and Snore. So why would it not be able to learn it? That seems very strange. Yeah, I don't understand. Acrobatics is interesting. I mean, honestly, you could still go Facade, right? Because it's... I really don't want to go Slam because it's 75 accuracy. It just won't ever be powered up. But yeah, and then some coverage move, right? You go Acrobatics, you go anything under the sun. Slam, my favorite move. Definitely a good move to have on every moveset in the late 40s. You're so right. You're so right. Okay. Let's skip to the Dunsparce. Its moveset here is Serene Grace, but I don't think any of its moves, like, actually take advantage of that. I would love for the Dunsparce to have a move that takes advantage of Serene Grace. So, Hyper Drill does what? Bypasses the effect of... Wow, okay. Bypasses the effect of Protect. That seems kind of crazy, right? And then Drill Run. Increased critical hit ratio. So I guess that does work in tandem with Serene Grace, too. They could have cooked with Kamala, but they took it off the stove too early. True. Who wants stab and accuracy when you can hit inaccurate headbutt? Exactly. Air Slash, for example? Well, like... the Dunsparce. Off of a 70 or 85 special attack, that's not the worst thing in the world. I do like Glare for paralysis. We don't have to keep that, though. Wait, Body Slam TM is a thing, though, right? You can get it in the desert? Yeah. So you could go... I know Hyper Drill is like the standout move, or like the what is it called? I can't remember the word for it. You know what I mean. Only the Dunsparce gets it, so it would be sad to see it go, but you could go Body Slam and just get rid of Glare. You could have Body Slam as the gym TM. You could do that. If you go Body Slam, you really have to forgo Hyper Drill. Yeah. Yeah, do I want to take away the signature move of a brand new Pokemon? I don't know. I do not know. I don't know if I want to do that. What else do we get here on the moveset? Ancient Power seems pretty good. 36, so you do get Roost, and this is a very bulky Pokemon. I would be down for a little Roost action. And then low-key, I could get down with some Ancient Powering. You know? Have a chance for it to get an Omni Boost on top of the Paralysis chance and critical hits with Drill Run. I think the rest of the team could have Body Slam. I don't think the Ace needs to have the move. Yeah, true. Alright, I'm going to take a look at Mousehold now. Again, these are not final. I just want to get moving a little bit. Tidy Up is a healing move, right? Oh no, it raises the attack and speed by 1 stage. That seems pretty crazy. And the ability here, Friend Guard or Cheek Pouch? I guess we go Cheek Pouch, right? Or I guess Friend Guard, I don't know. Neither of them are really going to come in handy here unless we give Mousehold a berry. But I don't see myself doing that because it's not the Ace. Give it Family Yeet. Tidy Up is Rapid Spin, but also raises attack. Yeah, that seems pretty crazy. We go Tidy Up for sure. And then Pop Bomb's pretty late. I feel like it doesn't make sense to run Pop Bomb here because it's so late of a pickup, and it's a really, 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 really good move. And it's not the Ace. Give it Cheek Pouch for the Gym Puzzle reference. Okay. Alright, I think it's time to move on to another song. Super Fang would be really solid. That'd be interesting. That would be super solid. And then you go like what? I think play rough, right? And then you go what, like charm? You could go Hidden Palace Zone. That's right. Thunderwave? Seems a little out of character though, right? Like, you could go Tidy Up, Helping Hand, or not Helping Hand, but Baton Pass. Feel like that's a bit much. Bullet Seed, maybe? What does that give me coverage on? Rock types? I don't hate that. Little Bullet Seed action. Encore would be good. Yeah. How about Crunch? Does get it. Maybe. Play into the Super Fang theming. Something like that. Yeah. I think we're like 90% of the way there with Mousehold. Okay, and then Staraptor, our favorite little boy. So we go... Oh, I did Starport. How am I doing this? Staraptor. Okay, so it does get close combat on Evo. Does it evolve at 36, though, is my main issue. 34. Okay, we're good. Good. So, it can get close combat, which is interesting. What if he runs a Baton Pass team? Just pass everything to Dedun and have it sweep? I kind of like that idea. I don't know. No stab moves? I mean, you could give it a stab move, Household. I don't know. You could give it Facade, right? Something like that. You give it the TM, whatever we end up with the TM, right? And then, so you do Facade / Body Slam here. Alright, I'm assuming it gets it, but it probably doesn't actually with Staraptor. Yeah, no Body Slam here. But you get 36. Get Aerial Ace. You get Close Combat. That seems pretty good. And then what? You go... Why does it get Struggle Bug? Why does Staraptor learn Struggle Bug, guys? Peace out, Dad. Thank you for hanging out. U-turn for Intimidate Pivoting. That's very interesting. I'll give you that. Otherwise, it's like some form of coverage that we're looking for, probably. Yeah, there's no close combat on this Staraptor usually. It's pretty rough. You could go like dual wing beat, I guess. I believe I saw something about that where it's just a TM number error. I think it's exclusive to this game. Oh, interesting. It was the TM for Steel Wing. Oh. I thought Steel Wing was like 47 in the earlier generations. That's kind of funny that I caught that. Yeah, I don't know. Some form of coverage would probably work here. I'm trying to think of any other like status moves that could work, but I don't think there's really anything we could do except for like another tailwind user. I don't know if we want to do that necessarily. Feather Dance is also an option, fair point. Oh, Steel Wing is 51, yeah. Oh, same with Great Tusk getting Psyshock. That's crazy. Oh, is Hyper Beam from gens 1 through 8. Yo. Oh, 1 through 7. Okay, so I feel good about Larry. It is 9:22, and we have 3 more to get through. This is interesting. Yeah, the list thingy is gone right now, but it must be per page, I guess, that they're updating it. Let's go to Rhyme. Let's get as far as we can here. So Rhyme, infamously, is a double battle, and I want to keep to that vibe here. I know we talked a little bit about Larry being Ghost or Flying Terra. I penciled in Dark as an idea for Rhyme. Again, I'm down for something else. We could go Terra Fighting to take care of normal types as well. And that would also take care of other Dark types. Yeah, even more 3 moves in the 6th gym. It's crazy. Icy Wind, I think, is very cool. Although it's on a bayonet, so like, what are you really doing there? I don't know. Now we can add Terra Blast. Yeah, true. Enjoy the rest of the stream. Thank you, Oliver. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Rhyme Terra Normal for sound. That could also work too. So our main issue, in my opinion, with Rhyme is figuring out Pokemon that work for her and the singing aesthetic. You know what I mean? Wait, Rhyme is next? She was my 8th gym when I played? That's hilarious, Crimson. Nah, 8th gym is Grusha. That's so funny. Okay, so, I want to say that Houndstone is the best option for the Ace. Let's take a look at the other options, because I did see there is a potential angle for like a Skeledirge or a Ceruledge. I think Skeledirge could work, but we do have to like get beyond the idea of a gym leader using a starter Pokemon, because obviously Skeledirge has Torch Song, you know? I thought it was Tulip, and I just did the last 2 out of order. Nope. Yeah, Tulip's level cap is 45, and then Grusha's is 48. That's so funny. Yeah, this is a double battle team. Terra Normal fits Rhyme thematically because of the sound type, exactly. So, I don't know. Again, I really think that Skeledirge could work here because of Torch Song. It's a musically inspired Pokemon. Otherwise, I guess Houndstone. You know? Misdreavus is probably going to be too... I mean, it's not a Gen 9 Pokemon for starters. Well, if it works, it works. Let's see what happens if we go in that direction. I totally misspelled that. I think it's like that. Totally fits with Rhyme. I see no issue running starters on NPC teams. Okay, okay. Oh, wow says not singing or sound related, but maybe Palosand, Houndstone, or Sandstorm, Sand Rush combo. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe that could be like the lead? That's super fun. Let's see what other ghost types we have available to us. Yeah, I think Miss Magius could work here, especially because we're not using it on Iono's team. Palo is fun, yeah. That might be it right there. It might be Palo Sand. I think that's how you spell it. Poundstone. And then you throw Mischievous Skeledirge in the back. Weird in the middle of the Snow City. Yeah, I don't understand that, but it is what it is, you know? Does Rhyme have perma snow in her battle? I don't think so. No. And it's like in the stage of like her performance area too. This is why Game Freak needs to add level scaling. Exactly! When are we getting Palo Snow regional form? That sounds sick, Crimson! I would love that. Frostlass also could be good, yeah. I like that, J Money. I just simply have an aversion to Gengar right now, so I'm just not going to even include that as an option. Now, Oricorio, on the other hand, could be interesting, because isn't Oricorio kind of a double battle centric Pokemon? Am I wrong about this? I could be very wrong about this. Please get out of here. You get Helping Hand, you get... maybe. Oricorio is musical, and the dancer ability works well in doubles. True. Yeah, I'll write it down. Wait a second. Oops. Let me look at Oricorio's... Okay, so... Not Revelation Dance, but Dancer. What moves apply here? Does Torch Song work? No, okay. For some reason I thought maybe that would work, but no. Most of Rhyme's team isn't super music-centric, it's only Toxtricity. This is true. Hire me, Game Freak, please! I'd rather not work more 14-hour days this summer. True. Okay. So Oricorio, what else we got here? Miss Magius, Drifblim, maybe. Annihilate would be crazy. But isn't Annihilate used by the fighting type? Team Star? Again, Ceruledge, maybe, but... Goldango? Yeah, Goldango would be crazy. I do like the idea of Mimikyu. Gary uses Annihilate, yeah. Gita should have Goldango. Yeah, you're probably right. Sableye, maybe. Bayonet, maybe. Spiritomb, maybe. I don't know. Fluttermane, now we're talking, baby. Yeah, Ceruledge into... Or Ceruledge Swords Dance into Oricorio Dancer. That's an angle. Yeah, what's going on with Goldango? What's good with Goldango these days? What's good? Is it gold? 550? Yeah, that seems like a lot. Maybe. Oh my god. Every time. We gotta get that out of the playlist, folks. Substitute Recover Goldango with help from Sandstorm would be pretty nuts. True. Rhyme and Goldango fit perfectly. Rematch team definitely, yeah. Okay. I really am interested in seeing where a Skeledirge team can take us. Blaze and Unaware. I'm good with keeping Blaze, I guess. Unaware is kind of interesting, but also does that apply to his own moves? I don't think so, right? Alright, so you obviously go Torch Song. You could go Shadow Ball. I think we're at Shadow Ball level now. And Shadow Ball is the TM of choice here, by the way. And then maybe... Could you go like a Hex Will-O-Wisp angle? Unaware only ignores opponent stat changes? Okay. That could go crazy. I'm gonna note it. But I don't want it to be too busted. What's like good doubles tech here? Snarl? Snarl's pretty insane probably, because is that a spread move? I don't think Snarl is a spread move, right? Oh, it is! Yeah, that's really, really good. And then Terra Normal Hyper Voice? Oh, true. Possibly a Hyper Voice angle. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. And then, like, I think we want to keep Houndstone on the squad. I use it all the time in Champions. There you go. Yeah, I think I do want to keep Houndstone here. Rimco, welcome on in. I'm doing pretty well. Hope you're doing good yourself. We are talking about Rhyme right now. We're trying to fix Rhyme's team. We have decided to... Oh, here we go. We gotta wait for the THX sound. Lock in. Oh, I feel rejuvenated, chat. Just for some noise. Thank you. Okay, so Houndstone. In base, it's got Play Rough, Crunch, and Phantom Force. Phantom Force is kind of interesting in a doubles battle specifically, I guess. But other than that, it doesn't have a lot of tech. Let's see if it gets a lot of tech. We could go Last Respects here. What's the ability on this guy? Sand Rush? Is it only a Sand Rush? It's also Fluffy. Fluffy seems pretty crazy. I guess we can keep Sand Rush for now. Guess you're halfway there then? Yeah. Somewhat. We're a little bit more than halfway. But we're probably gonna end it pretty soon, fortunately. Houndstone. Any doubles utility. It does have Helping Hand. I think the biggest crime is that Houndstone isn't Rock Ghost. I could totally see it. Yeah. It is a little strange. There isn't a lot here. Like, is Last Respects gonna go crazy? Like, if we're putting it in the front? So it has utility with Palisand? But Palisand still would need to, like, set up Sandstorm, right? Like, I don't think we want to deal with that right now. Does Annihilate get Follow Me combined with Rage Fist? That would go crazy. But Annihilate is used by Eerie. Or Airy. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this thing, to be honest. Like... Play Rough is going to be super effective on fighting types, I guess. Crunch is just a good move. Safety Goggles on Skeledirge to stay untouched by Sandstorm. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's an idea, there's something there. You could even set up Sandstorm on Houndstone. I guess. And then... I don't know, Will-O-Wisp? Something along those lines seems okay. Probably not Sandstorm, but... you probably want a Ghost-type move, so maybe you just put... Last Respects there for now. And then you go Yeah, Sandstorm doesn't feel right to me. I agree. All right. I think I have a good place to go, or at least a good direction with Rhyme. I'm just gonna try to brush over Tulip and Grusha to the best of my ability, and then go ahead and end. Skeletorch can learn Solar Beam via TM. That's crazy. Why not Revival Blessing? Does it get that? I don't even know if it gets that. That would be crazy in a gym fight. For Houndstone? I don't think it gets it. I do like the idea because he's like an undead dog. Alright, Tulip! We're moving on, chat. It's Tulip time. It's time for tulips, and I spelled tulip wrong. Oh my god. This has to move. Okay, you're seeing part of the team, I guess. Farigiraf, Gardevoir, Espathra, Gallade, and Florges. So this seems like a pretty... Oh, that's the rematch team. I was like, that can't be right. So yeah, it's Farigiraf, Gardevoir, Espathra, and Florges. So I think what I want to do here is just bring Espathra over. Let me see what the other options are real quick. It could technically go, not Ceruledge, but, Armarouge, I guess? But I feel like that doesn't make sense for Tulip, even though it is a good Pokemon. So I feel like it's a Espathra, or it's like maybe Farigiraf, but 41 versus 520. That's kind of crazy. Maybe you go Farigiraf as the ace. Farigiraf. And then Espathra. I kind of like the Gardevoir angle, I guess, but I feel like it's kind of overdone. What other options do we have here? There is Rabsca. We're not going Screamtail. You could go... I don't like Slowking for this. Maybe Oranguru. Espathra is more ace material? Really? Especially if we start introducing hidden abilities here. Oh, Speed Boost Espathra could go crazy. I kind of agree. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of using the evolutions. Oranguru maybe... Patterine would at least be more original than Gardevoir. And it's kind of the same kind of Pokemon. What else we got? Rabsca? I don't know, man. Like, I guess technically you could go NDD here. Luminacrash and Speed Boost is a crazy combo. It really is. Psychic Surge lead. That does sound insane. Yeah, you could technically go Gothitelle as well. Gothitelli, if you will. Replace Gardevoir with Medicham? Isn't Medicham used by the fighting type lady who's like not a gym leader, but she helps with the presentation or like the puzzle? As a nod to Tulip's friend. But like, wouldn't it be kind of like doubling up on it in a way? It's an idea for sure. Yeah, I feel like it just is Dendra's Pokemon. Bronzong, maybe? Grumpig, I don't know about that. And then Oricorio could work, I guess, but I like the idea of using it in the double battle specifically. Hypno, I'm good without. Okay. And then, of course, Armarouge could be an option. She is a Gallade in the rematch team. So, like, you could bring over the Gallade instead of the Gardevoir. Rabska for Revival Blessing. Okay. You might be cooking on that. So, let's say Espathra Speed Boost, Lumina Crash is our ace, right? What's going on here? 481. Lumina, Crash. Our TM is Psychic. I guess it doesn't need Psychic per se. Let's say we go Dazzling Gleam. I don't really know what the Terra type should be. I put Fairy for now. But if a different Terra type makes more sense, please be my guest. Let me know. Darkrai says Bruxish could be an interesting angle for Tulip. I kinda see it. Beautiful physical body type Pokemon? Maybe. Maybe make Gardevoir the rematch edition and move Gallade to the original team. That could work. Fairy helps against Dark and Bug and fits her vibe really well. Yeah, that's kind of the direction I was going in there. We do on this guy. Do you have like a special flying type attack? You got Drill Peck, but like on a 60 base power attack stat? I don't know. No, he really doesn't. Mab, thank you for the chat. Armarouge, maybe. I do have that one written down. Terraferia is perfect. Cool. Yeah, I don't really know what else to do here. Like, you could go Feather Dance, I guess. How fast are you? You're pretty fast, but you could do ability. Infuse Ray, maybe? What do you have in the base game? Quick Attack and Shadow Ball. That seems pretty boring to me. Full mean build of Calm Mind Stored Power. We could probably put screens on an earlier team member, but Calm Mind seems insanely disgusting. I like Energy Ball. Get a little more coverage in there. Or even like Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon's probably going to be better coverage, yeah? I probably won't go Stored Power. Special Flying Terra Blast? Yeah. I low-key have no idea what Expanding Force does. I'm assuming it like does more if in Psychic Terrain. This move gets a 1.5x power increase. That's crazy. So I guess it's Expanding Force plus Psychic Terrain, right? That's kind of interesting. But then like the Lumina Crash tech goes away. Well, if we want Espathra to be the ace, then the Baton... Oh, I guess you're saying Baton Pass Nasty Plot for Farigiraf? That's disgusting, and I like it. If it's possible. That's disgusting. They gave Espathra Brave Bird, but not coverage like Air Slash. Isn't that crazy, Mab? I also kind of get it because... Does it have wings? I can't tell. It must have wings. I don't know. I'll go like Confuse Ray or Light Screen or something like that for now. Let's just keep moving. I'm going to Grusha now. Terrablast is also stronger than Dazzling Gleam once it terras into Fairy. That's an interesting point. I'll note that. They just aren't used for flying. True. Okay, so Grusha is an interesting one. Mainly, what is Grusha's TM of choice? It's Ice Spinner. Right. And this is the squad we're working with in base game. And I'm considering going Terra Fire here. You don't get anything with fighting, or like you don't lose the fighting. You're not resisting fighting, you're taking it neutrally, but like you're, I guess, gonna be resisting steel and rock. Wait, no, not even rock, right? Like, is there a better Terra type here? I guess you're resisting fire still, which is good. Yeah, I definitely think we put Titan as the ace. That just makes way too much sense not to do. I also think that Grusha should have 5 Pokemon. Flying, maybe? It would still be weak to rock. That's the only ace that Grusha can ever have. True. Frostmoth with Ice Scales? What does that do again? Halves damage taken from special moves? That is horrifying, and I love it. And so Titan's got Thick Fat. Love it. It's weird. Is it weird the more teams we make for Paldea, the more I kind of wish the gyms were main interaction with double battles for the region? Oh, so like all of the gyms were double battles is what you're saying? I could see it. Maybe water for stab liquidation? Okay. Frostmoth is the worst version of Furfra. I guess that seems like a wild comparison. I do like the Tailwind angle. I'll still keep that, why not? Bug Buzz also seems like a good move to have here. That's a whole can of worms on double battles not being utilized in the main games. While Pokemon's main competitive format is exclusively doubles. True. Yeah, and then Crimson says that might be Champion's Brain. Oyster's interesting. Oh, it has Quiver Dance? Oh my god, this thing is disgusting. I will note that. That might be too much. Oh, you give him Abomasnow for Snow Warning. That I'm kind of in favor for. It's the 8th gym, you know? So you throw this guy here. You go Snow Warning. Boom. Then again, might be too late. Maybe give it Tailwind instead. I see what you're saying. Might be too late in the moveset. Okay, so I am a fan of Beartic, especially now that we have Abomasnow with Snow Warning, because then it actually gets to take advantage of Snow Cloak. I'm gonna note that, and I'll put Frostmoth down even further. We throw Beartic here, because it's got the Snow Cloak. Let's take a look at the other choices, though, before we lock anything in. Abominable is an option. Glaceon, I'm good. Weavile is here. Not my favorite choice, although I really do like Weavile as a Pokemon. Ice-Cue's interesting. I know Ice-Cue was it the ace of Melanie? Or was that... No, that was Frostmoth. Okay. Ice-Cue is interesting. Could be a fun lead. You got Cloyster as an option to take care of any potential water types, or fire types, rather. And then Delibird, I'm good. You could also go Glalie / Frostlass. I think the game forces a snowstorm whenever you battle Grusha, so Snow Morning would be redundant. Is that true? Oh, these Ace was Lapras? Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Because of the Gigantamax form. Cryogonal, maybe, but now we're just kind of going back to, not Price, but Bryson, man. Avalugg could be interesting, I guess. That's about it. I don't want to use Baxcalibur here for obvious reasons. Giant enemy crab. It might be Crabominable. I'd like to have one more Gen 9 rep, but I don't think we have one, right? Yeah, that's it. So maybe it is like that, you know? Cinccino would be perfect for coverage, but it's DLC. Switch to Titan's ability to Slush Rush. Oh, yeah. Down for that. And what's our base stats? So we are relatively slow, or at least like average speed, so I think Slush Rush could work wonders here. What do we got in the base game in terms of a moveset? We've got Ice Spinner. It's a definite bring. I don't think Snow is forced when you fight Grush. Oh, okay. Good to know. I do like Liquidation here. Very good addition. Ice Shard is interesting, especially because it's not Slush Rush. We might not need it now. I'm trying to think of what else we would have instead of it. You could go Bulldoze for speed control. EQ, in fact, is pretty good. Superpower would go crazy. I was wrong. Snow is not always up when Grusha is fighting. Okay. Beartic also gets Slush Rush. I think that would be better than Snowcloak for sure. You go Bounce? You might go Bounce for fighting type coverage, but also, like, that's a 2-turn move. So the player can just play around it. Beartic is significantly slower than Cetitan. Bounce would stall out Snow turns. True, that's a fair point. Snowcloak makes it harder for the user to hit. Yes, that is horrifying, but it is definitely reliant on RNG. We could go that route, though. I mean, you could go Slush Rush on both, right? Oh, Play Rough was already there? Oh, no. But that is an option. I like that. I think, low-key, I think that Cetitan should just be an all-out attacker, yeah? Seems pretty good to me. But I guess is your point with Beartic that, like, even with Slush Rush boosting, it's not going to do much? Snow Cloak plus double team with Bright Powder? Bruh. Crimson, do you know who I am? That would be if you were making this. That would be incredible. Okay, it looks like the contents thing is working with me now. Mover Dance is 52. I don't know, maybe. But I don't know if we're wanting to do Tailwind on top of everything. We could. What else could we do? No way it learns Ice Spinner. It does, but I don't want to teach it that. Dude, this thing gets Aurora Veil. Wait. Does this... Can you do Aurora Veil and Snow? Because that's weather and this is... Oh my gosh, wait. Thoughts on Aurora Veil here, guys? Making new champions team now with that tech? Great. Sounds good, Crimson. Can't wait to see you on the ladder. Okay, so maybe we bring Frostmoth up a bit. Put Beartick in the middle. That way Aurora Veil gets set up early. And then you go... I don't know, I think this needs like an Ice Beam or something, right? It had Blizzard. We can run Blizzard now, right? It already had it, you know? So we could just continue that here. Imagine only having a 60% chance Ice Beam on Garchomp. How mad do you think the opponent will get? Yeah. And that's funny because in Platinum Kaizo, I think they do that in Gym 1. They have Sand Veil Garchomp. Or Gibble, rather. It's disgusting from the looks of it. Okay, I think it's about getting to the end of stream time here for I'm gonna leave it at that. I think we made decent progress here. Obviously we didn't fill in the later teams, but I think I've gotten a good head start. And yeah, I'm planning for this to be the next video, and it might take a little bit longer. Because of that, I'm kind of like pivoting on what video I'm doing next. So that's the idea. And next week we will be getting back to our Pokemon Emerald while only using non-Hoenn Pokemon. So that's exciting because we are going to the Elite Four next week, actually. And that'll be the finale stream. Very, very nervous about keeping that run deathless, okay? It's gonna be upsetting at the very least if we don't keep it deathless. I will be upset and sad. Because I don't think I've ever gotten a deathless run to the Elite Four, at the very least, okay? Like, this is crazy. Leaf says Paldea has so many options, but none at the same time. That's exactly right. I'm starved for choice here. I can't wait to spend several hours reworking Gita's team. Get ready. It's deathless, dude. It's crazy. Also, I never had double team on my teams. That was a Tom special. You're right. You're right, Crimson. All right. Let me see. See if I can send you guys over to someone else who is also streaming. Again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It was a blast. I feel like we made a lot of progress. I really, really value, like, your guys' feedback, so it means a lot that you'd hang out for a bit. I don't think anyone I'm super streaming now, so I think that'll be it from my side. Yeah. Guess it means bye then. That's right, Lime. Great stream, y'all. That's right. That's right. I want to make like 6 teams for Gita. We'll do it. Would this Team Star Boss's teams be changed as well? I would like to think so. Mab. I haven't been there for most of the Emerald run, unfortunately. Hopefully I get a chance to see the Elite Four, unless my schedule decides I'm not allowed. All good, dude. I understand you've got things going on. But you should at least, I'll let you know how the Elite Four goes and see if it continues to be deathless, okay? Don't forget level scaling. Don't worry, but I think that'll have to come after the fixing video. It would be cool if we do the DLC too. Yeah, I agree. Ice level. But honestly, I don't think the DLC needs work. That Elite Four in the post game is horrifying, bro. It's really tough as is. So, alright, with that, I will see you guys next week. Thank you again for popping in. And yeah, have a good week. I'm trying to think if any other movies are coming out this week that I'm seeing, but I don't think there are. So, hopefully we'll have a movie update for you by next week, but anyways, have a good one, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.